What's up, boys?
What up, dog?
What's going on, man?
Good to have you guys here. For everyone listening, this is going to come out on my platform in a few weeks. I've got a couple episodes in the chamber. It's come out on Last Laugh probably this week.
Yeah, this week for sure.
I think for current context, we're recording this on February 28th. We were just talking about it off camera, so I wanted to cover it really
It's the last
quick.
day of Black History Month. Congrats, guys, you made it.
And we made it, dude. I didn't say the M word once. I held off.
That's
the
a
whole
lie.
Month. The whole month I held off. I was like, no,
I heard your set yesterday.
can't do it for
Nitty
my...
brought it out of me a lot this weekend, so
But yeah, so we're talking about it off camera. I'm gonna cover it on a live episode tomorrow. But I mean, this will be good for your shit this week.
Yeah.
So this morning at like 2 a.m. ish our time, we decided to strike Iran. And what I think is interesting about, I think it's always good to work out or go out and then work your way in. What I think is interesting about politics, like the state of politics today in the United States, is that like, and this is not a dig at you, AJ, at all,
yeah, for
but
sure.
like, you've never striked me as a guy that's traditionally into politics,
No.
or like you follow you have a natural interest.
Yeah, for
you,
sure.
like, you don't strike me as that kind of guy.
This is not politics. This is a war.
Right,
War
but-
transcends politics.
Right. And so I completely agree. But even like outside of the war that we've started with Iran,
I think the biggest issue.
you're following shit.
yeah.
Like people, just so many more people know about politics these days, and a lot of it's social media and yada. But now the reason I bring it up is that when you're already priming a society, let's say since Trump got into politics, right? You've been priming a society where even the normies or the people who just don't give a shit about politics are starting to learn, like not even learn more, but just be more aware of things. When the big stuff happens like this, then it's like everyone's pissed. And I think the repercussions of this, because in that video did you watch the 8-minute video that Trump
I didn't
put out?
watch. I can't watch the whole thing.
That's
He
fair.
Makes
No.
me so mad.
No, that's fair. No, that's totally fair. But I personally believe, because in that video, he straight up says, and he doesn't say regime change, but he says it's a decapitation strike, which is a regime change war in Iran. The repercussions socially of this war are going to completely dwarf Iraq. Like this is, I don't think they, just like they underestimated the
can I say
Epstein
something?
stuff. Yeah.
How come you call it Iran, but then you can say Iraq?
I don't know. I gotta be
You know?
honest. I don't know.
It's Iran.
Iran and Iraq.
It's
Right.
Yeah,
racist.
but you
Yeah.
just
I have
said
no idea.
Iran.
I have
And
no
I'm like,
idea. Yeah, I have no
But then
idea.
you just said Iraq so perfectly, and I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, I don't know, but I also
Sorry,
say
but yeah.
but I also pronounce I'll pronounce Qatar Qatar. I have no idea why. I have
Well, that's closer to
because it's Qatar, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
closer too.
Yeah.
But Iran is like totally not
Right,
closer
it's
to.
Iran, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just,
Oh, sorry.
I just like, because they've obviously underestimated the Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
They thought they was just going to go away because Trump had that ability. It specifically he does not have that anymore, especially in his first term. He had the ability to just tell his base what's going on or what he believes, and they were like, sounds good. We totally believe you. We're on board, whatever. But now they just can't do that. Like, no. We're not letting go of this Epstein stuff.
Are you under the belief that the U.S. government or whatever government has been being honest with you?
No.
Or they're ever honest with you?
No,
So then how can you believe the validity of the Epstein files?
I don't. What do you mean the validity of the Epstein file?
Because they're giving it to us.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, it's all. No. So this is how I view.
How do you know that's not AI, what they've done with it and made certain people look a certain way? So they want what we're feeling and thinking is what they
Okay, I see what you're saying.
are
So
trying to get out of us right
And is
now.
that how corrupt the United States is? Because
Hell yeah.
So that's a really good question.
well, because they've arrested Prince Andrew.
Right. Improvised Intelligence is sponsored by the amazing people over at Chop Chili. If you've been a long time listener to the podcast, you know that this is my favorite brand of chili here in New Mexico. Pretty much put it on every meal that I can. I've got red chili, green chili. My personal favorite is this blend of the red and the green. I think this stuff is phenomenal. They also have frozen bags of green chili that you can order directly from their website at chopchilico.com. You can also find them in stores around the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Farmers Country Market, John Brooks, Keller's Farm Store, Lowe's Market. And you can also find them in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Hobbs, Gallup, Tucumcari. And for all my friends in Texas, they are in El Paso. Again, chopchilico.com. Go get yourself some amazing chili. Now back to the podcast. So that's a really good question. So it's not that thought hasn't crossed my mind. That's a really good question. Give me a second. Okay, so the way I view that is because even with how corrupt the United States government is, there has to be, at least in my opinion, there has to be whether you're looking at a release of documents or you're having a discussion about something in politics, there has to be some sort of base of truth to work off of, because then it's just like, well, if it's all bullshit, then why? It kind of just goes out the window.
That's wishful thinking.
So then, I don't think so, personally. And the reason why...
Don't get me wrong. I think that island is 100% real, and they're doing some fucked up shit over there.
For sure.
You know?
But
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Right. No, and it's a good question. But with the files specifically, what's interesting about them is, and obviously this is not getting reported on a ton anymore, and not that it ever was in the first place, but right now. So there's two major events that happened where there was a destruction of files. There's three. The first one was in 2007 when the initial Epstein arrest happened. Epstein's estate in New York and I believe Florida, they were notified that Epstein was getting arrested and that they were going to have to turn over documents. So no one knows who, I mean, someone knows who, but the public doesn't know who, but people within Epstein's estate destroyed documents in 2007.
It's like that SpongeBob episode in his head where they're
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And then in 2000, when did the Pizzagate thing happen? Like 16, right?
16.
Like 16, 17. When that happened, when the Pizzagate conspiracy was getting really big, and that guy who totally wasn't a Fed showed up to the actual pizza parlor and shot the place up, but magically killed nobody, but his bullet hit the server that was connected to the computer that had all the documents from that, you know what I mean? So those files were destroyed there. Then, when Epstein gets arrested again in 2018, the estates were notified again that, hey, he's getting arrested. We're going to need to turn over some documents, and more things were destroyed, right? So you have three major events where incredibly incriminating evidence was destroyed. And I believe personally, especially in 2018, because the natural question to ask, at least in my opinion, is, well, if we're looking for incriminating evidence, we know now, without a shadow of a doubt, we know that the Epstein estate in both, well, it's safe to assume all of them in New York, Florida, New Mexico, and the island had tons of hidden cameras, right? And they were probably all bugged with microphones. We know that without a shadow of a doubt. You would think that the incriminating evidence is going to be the video footage. Like, if we have video, like, obviously that shouldn't be released to the public because nobody wants to see, CP. But, like, if you have video evidence of these, heads of state, billionaires, scientists, people that own corporations, sexually assaulting minors, well, then there you go. Why do we need emails? Like, we have it on video. So, but I think the vast majority of that has been destroyed. But then to your point, like to your question about how do you not believe that it's AI or what's fake, it's what makes me believe that the files that they're releasing, the vast majority are real. There are definitely some red herrings in there that aren't even fake files themselves. They're just like, why are they in there, right? Like a great example is, so in New Mexico a few years ago, there was a horrific murder of Victoria Martin.
Yeah.
Right. And what's interesting about that, we can get into it later, but it's not really important to Epstein itself. But because that case may or may not have dealt with trafficking and CP, that was included in the Epstein drop, right? It has nothing to do with it on its face, but because it has the same subject, it gets put in there. So it's like a possible red herring. But what leads me to believe that the vast majority of it is legit is the amount of illegal redactions that were in there. And then the people that are really doing their homework on this, that are like, their whole lives are like, guerrilla journalism, and they have YouTube accounts to make them money, blah, blah, blah. So they can spend their whole day doing this kind of stuff. They're tracking what the DOJ has been uploading and and deleting from the DOJ's website. It's like, oh, okay, well, they got rid of this, but they took away this, and blah, blah, blah. So that's what leads me to believe that the vast majority of it's real. But It's a fair way to think about it.
It's not only all that trafficking and
Yeah, I'll help you out.
all that trafficking and evil kid shit and all that blood stuff. It's also in the emails. Every major event that happened in the world, they were discussing prior to it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From coronavirus, and the thing was, there's files missing from '98 to 2002.
Yeah.
No files.
Yeah.
And
that's the interesting ones.
That's the September. That's 2000. That's September 11th that they're hiding there.
Because they can everything else can come out, everything else, but America and Israel being a part of 9/11,
everything
that can never come out. The government can never let that's a civil war. Or something.
So 9/11 is an important one, obviously, but when you during that time period, that's where Epstein is growing a lot of his net worth and a lot of his money. So for instance, if you want a really good podcast on this, Sauger from Breaking Points, he went on Flagrant and he did 2 episodes. One came out like a week or a week and a half ago, and he breaks this down really well. But basically, that time period is when Epstein is building his financial wealth, and that's where you're going to find, because we'd have to assume that right now we don't have or we're never going to get the video footage of the sexual assaults on Pedophile Island. That's where you're going to find all the financial crimes.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to see all the stuff that's funding everything. And that's a lot without, the strict evidence of the children being assaulted. That's where you're going to find the most incriminating stuff. So that's a very good point. And honestly, my thought process, and this will never happen. Like, it's a shock that we got the DOJ to release anything. If you want to find really incriminating stuff, I would have to imagine that they would have to draft another bill and have it signed into law, which will never happen. Just like the Epstein Transparency Act did to the DOJ, you need a carbon copy of that, but for the CIA.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have a lot of those documents too that are going to plug at least some of the holes.
Is there anyone above the CIA outside of America? Like, is there an international police that could say that's above anyone?
Like NATO or the UN, technically?
Or after the CIA, it's like, fuck with us. You want to come in, it's war.
No, it's the CIA. Because the way the CIA was initially founded, like the whole purpose of the CIA was that it's basically supposed to be a newspaper for the president about the world. What do we know about England? What do we know about Russia? What do we know about China? What do we know about Vietnam? Like, India. That was the whole point. India, right? Yeah, that was the whole point of the CIA, was to basically inform the president in a condensed, easy to read, easy to digest thing in his morning briefings of what's going on, where do we need to focus our attention. Yeah. But now, obviously, it's very early in its...
who started the CIA? Who was Eisenhower? Who was
the CIA came out after World War II. So
after they started bringing all the Nazis in?
Yeah, well, so very akin to it, yeah, with Operation Paperclip, yeah, very akin to it. But
okay,
what did you do in the military?
I was just in the National Guard.
Yeah, so you didn't do anything.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
So you jacked off in his.
So the guys who went to war would make fun of you guys?
Say it again.
So the guys who actually went to the war would make fun of you guys?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, because it was funny, because like there was always a how do I put it?
Stigma?
A stigma, but like...
Is it like the guys in the Navy are gay? What is it about the National Guard?
That they're useless. But, well, it's funny because like the National Guard gets deployed more than active duty does.
But then also, like, it's in the name. Like, you guys are here if something happens here.
Right, but the National Guard gets deployed overseas more than active duty does.
Really?
Which is something not a lot of people know. But like, I don't know how to describe the right word for it.
International Guard.
But, right, you would think so, right? But in my unit, because I was infantry, you had a lot of guys that were prior service active duty, that had fought in fucking Mosul, Fallujah, gone to Iraq, Afghanistan, and
Iraq that time.
Yeah, and they had like real combat experience, right? So you have like those guys who were in this, like especially the guys who were like in the first service, like I was saying, and then you had guys like me who are younger, just enlisted, maybe they just want to go to college, maybe they'll figure out the Army's for them, whatever. And there's always that like, oh, you're not. You know what I mean? And in the best case, it was like you want those guys that have that experience as your team leader, your squad leader, your platoon sergeant, because they could really teach you cool shit. And a lot of them did. But then you had a few of them that were just like, fuck you, you never went through it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay.
You'll never be one of us.
Right. And like on the one hand, it's like, okay, I kind of get it because you've experienced things that I legitimately could not imagine, quite frankly. I mean, at the time I wanted to experience it, but looking back on it, I'm like, I never want to go through that.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrible.
They say hoorah, I say hooray.
Hooray, I didn't go to war. That's funny. But you know, but on the other hand, it's like I kind of get it, but on the other hand, it's like we're all wearing, like, on our uniform it says last name US Army. It doesn't say US Army National Guard, it doesn't say US Army active duty. Like, bug off, you know what I mean? Like,
so fuck the National Guard. No, I'm just kidding. But I can't let this thought slip my mind because I am a little bit I don't, like you said, I would say I have more like music, media knowledge and stuff like that than like political stuff and like conspiracies.
yeah, it was put together by
like,
it was put together by Truman after World War II,
Truman. Okay,
because originally we had the Office of Strategic Services, but that got abolished and it got made to the CIA.
Eisenhower's right after Truman. Yeah, it is. I know.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't know. Actually,
I'm Canadian.
keep going.
Anyways, so Paperclip. What did you say? Paperclip?
Yeah, Eisenhower's afterwards. Yeah, Operation Paperclip.
Okay. So I've heard of the Nazis coming to America, but like, why? Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
So
Like,
I'll tell you why.
They made NASA.
I know that they made NASA. I know that,
Well,
but like,
I'll tell you why.
if we're so on like the side of the Jews and we're run by Israel now and all that stuff, why the fuck did we let all the
Okay,
people
so
that
here's
were
why. So
killing?
here's
them?
basically
Yeah.
here's what happened. So
Conspiracy goes deep.
yeah, so as World War II was coming to an end, and we were closing in on Japan, we're about to drop the bombs, and the Russians really, they were the ones that suffered the most. They had mostly repelled the Nazis back, right, after the Battle of Stalingrad and all that kind of stuff. Basically what had happened is we had enough intelligence gathered on the Third Reich that they were like, okay, well, because truthfully, the only reason the Germans, the Axis powers, the reason why they lost World War II is because Hitler went crazy. Like, he was on so much medication and he's taking so much meth and he was like so gung ho. And he made a couple strategic mishaps towards the end there. But like,
So you don't think that, because a lot of like the biggest theory is
He's in
like
Argentina.
not like the one thing that I heard that one of the main like the mainstream reason why they lost the war was because of they weren't able to survive the cold.
yeah,
in
that was a
the
big
Soviet and stuff like
strategic
that.
blunder for sure. But like
So you think if he wasn't on drugs that they
Yeah.
wouldn't have made that decision
Yes.
to do that?
for sure, because all of his advisors were like, don't do it. Hold off.
And he was
And he was like, no, we need to take it now
was like-
because if we don't, we're going to get captured by the Russians and they're going to kill me.
like
And
fucking Daenerys and fucking in Game of Thrones. So they shouldn't have done King's Landing the way that they did King's Landing, and she was like, "Nah, we're
Yeah,
doing it.
pretty much.
Kill everyone. Fuck them all."
So basically, what's happened is they repelled the Nazis back. We're closing in on Japan, and so we had enough intelligence gathered on what basically made up the Third Reich, and they had really great scientists. Like, it's assumed that if Hitler didn't go so crazy and he wasn't so anti-Jewish, because he legitimately viewed he viewed he viewed the creation of the nuclear bomb and atomic sciences. He viewed that as Jew science.
Yeah.
Right?
I've heard that. Yeah.
So he
Technically.
so they had the ability to make nuclear weapons. They probably could have done it, but he just didn't direct them to, right? So anyway,
Thank fucking Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
right? Whatever God is out there.
Yeah. So
Because he would have just nuked everyone, right?
who knows? Maybe. But what happens is we have enough intelligence on them. We learn about their scientists, and as the Nuremberg trials are on the rise or on the eve too, they basically go to the scientists and we're like, "Hey, man, listen, you have two options. Your first option is you go to these Nuremberg trials and you probably get killed and you get disgraced along with the rest of the Nazis on the world stage. Your second option is we bring you over to the United States. You're going to build a rocket program for us because we also have intelligence on the Soviet Union and they're trying to build a rocket program too. And we understand that while they're our allies right now, they're probably going to be our next adversary coming up." Now, granted, they were, in my opinion, they're an adversary of choice, right? Stalin's not a good guy. He killed more people than Hitler did, but they were definitely there's an argument back and forth, but he was probably an adversary of choice, right? So we need to start getting a rocket program together that rivals theirs. You guys are the best at it right now. Come on over. We'll bring you guys over. You will not be charged for your crimes.
Which is crazy.
And then they built NASA.
And now we've never been back to the moon.
Did we even go in the first place?
So you don't believe that they took Hitler to Argentina and Epsteined him like they did in Israel?
I genuinely don't know.
Isn't it crazy how
I'm never.
Why there's such a big German population?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Nazis that escaped.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's a
know
fact.
that. What
Like
are you
that-
talking about? See, I don't even know that.
Oh
shit.
yeah.
No.
So as the Nuremberg trial started happening, a lot of Nazis fled Germany and made their way to Argentina. Like, dude, there's
they
a
say
whole
they
colony.
never found his. Like, no one can prove that's Hitler's body.
Right.
There's no. No one
So you
has-
remember how
no one knows where it is.
Remember when they killed Osama bin Laden and they dumped his body in the ocean,
Yeah.
but there was no pictures of the body released?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of that, and so people are like, did they really kill Osama bin Laden or where'd he go? Whatever. Basically, like copy and paste that into Hitler. There's a lot of people that believe that
He's
like
in Argentina, and he was just. That's why they had such a big German town, and he led a lot of. He was just living out there, living his days out there.
like there's a whole like village of German people down in Argentina. Like they have their own little space.
So obviously he would be dead by now, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy. Because like realistically, why would he just kill himself if there was the chance for him to escape and get somewhere else? Why would he?
Well, I will say this.
Because they want us to think that he was all fucked up and going crazy.
Well,
but really, it's just he's like, all right, take it, I'm out.
Well, I will say though, to your point on that question about why would he want to kill himself, if he got captured by the Russians,
yeah.
his life would have been a slow, excruciating, painful death. Like and the Russians don't play in general, but back then, especially the Soviet Union under Stalin,
Yeah.
I mean, they would have put him through every type of pain that you
Peeled
could
his skin
imagine.
back and shit.
They would
But
have.
I also, after what we know now, it's like all these guys knew each other. They all talked more than we would ever know that they talked. The top guys in charge of these countries.
With the
So-
exception of Hitler, sure.
No, I'm saying including Hitler. He's probably gone. That's why they let him go to Argentina. I'm telling you, it was all.
I don't think the Russians let him go. I'm not willing to buy that personally. I'm not willing to buy that.
These guys are all in with each other.
I'm
man.
more-
We're just fucking.
If he did
we're-
survive,
we're just fucking.
if he did survive, I'm more inclined to believe he escaped than he was let go. I just find it hard to believe the Soviet Union would let him go.
Why does Argentina have the biggest base in Antarctica?
I didn't know that.
Because you know that every country has a base up there.
Yeah,
Argentina has the biggest and has the most power. Why?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Google it. It's real. I'm not even
I
fucking.
believe you.
crazy.
No, I believe you.
Antarctica is like a whole nother crazy
Dude,
thing.
it's crazy.
Dude.
And that's another reason a real world war won't officially start until someone breaks the treaty in Antarctica.
Keep going.
Because they have a peace treaty where
I just don't know a whole lot about Antarctica. Personally.
they have a peace treaty in Antarctica, and every country upholds to it. And as soon as someone breaks that, is when shit will go down. Because if there is a real world war, one of the countries over there is gonna try to fucking
Take another base out there.
dude. They're hiding so much out
I was
there.
gonna say, what's the advantage of Antarctica?
There's something there that they're hiding. You can't travel to Antarctica without a guide. There's certain areas you can't visit. There's certain things.
Which why can't you just fly? Like if you're able to fly
a
over it,
fucking-
why not?
A
Why
jet will
can't you
come
fly
and
them?
take you away.
So it's protected.
It's
Like, the-
heavily
the
protected
airspace is protected.
by every government, and you'll never know why. You can't go out there, and when you do get a guided tour out there, you're not allowed to bring cameras or electronic equipment.
Because they say because it's once you get to I've seen what he's taught I've seen a little bit on Antarctica. Once you get to that certain point where they say it's like the ice wall kinda, that's when they don't let you.
They
film,
don't let you go
film or
anywhere
anything.
near
Like,
it.
You get to a certain spot and all cameras are taken away. All that shit's taken away.
And you know what all the rumors about Antarctica, how many pyramids they found over there, Admiral Byrd.
I've heard about.
Have
you
you
know,
not seen the video with the Google Earth images where there's like a clear
and-
pyramid in Antarctica?
and then there's just blurred areas where it's like a poor blur job
Right,
all
right.
over it.
Where they're censoring things. Right. I've heard about that. I've heard about pyramids up there. Interesting.
well, what's
There's,
his name?
and that's and if you go into it, what Hitler was looking into the whole time, he was super into Antarctica and
Mm-hmm.
finding out where all those little lore, mystical, you know what I
Well,
mean?
he got super into the occult towards the end of his death, and he was really into a lot of the things, oddly enough, that
are coming out now.
that Epstein was into. They're into the transhumanism. Obviously, he was into eugenics. He was into basically building the master race.
That's why they say
What
it's the
is
same
Okay,
people.
master race. What is
the same people.
transhuman? That's just trans people. What is that?
No, transhumanism is basically like how do humans the broad idea right now it means the blending of organic humans and AI, but generally the general oh my god, I can't speak. The general idea of transhumanism is basically how do humans ascend to what's next? Like what our better form is. In today's world, that's just us mixing with AI. Right, but back then it was
doing
Super soldiers
experiments
and
with
shit
shit.
like that. Yeah.
exactly. Like he was super into like you played zombies, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So like Element 115 from Zombies,
Yeah.
that's pulled from
yeah.
what he was actually looking into. And that was
Apparently,
like,
he
and-
found some shit because they were all over the world, and he was collecting things.
well, that was a
and-
real like I don't know if it was a meteor or just something that had hit in Japan. Like
That element. That
yeah, like that was a real thing that they had. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's just crazy to think about.
and they were one of the superpowers, world superpowers.
Yep.
So imagine what the things he had access to, the things he found.
yeah.
You know, it's just like how the Vatican is hiding so many
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Right? It's the US government is doing the same. One of the conspiracies of them going into Iraq, one of the first places that got looted was the museum. And it wasn't
Well, it was the museum in Saddam's palace.
and it wasn't like they just they left all this artwork and all this shit. They went deep into the vaults and they took some
this-
shit that is from, you know, that Iraq was fucking protecting for a long time, you know?
So
There's weird shit going on, man.
yeah, it's very. It's no, I haven't thought about that in a while.
the
That's a very
Antarctica
good
shit
point.
that he was talking about. So there's a sick ass video. I can't remember what it's called, but that's when I watched it. It's on YouTube, and they show you like kind of like the history. There was like this homie that went on an expedition back in the day. That it was like one of the only people that they ever let go on an expedition, and like supposedly he said he found pyramids and stuff like that, and then they never let any. And this was right before World War II. They never let anyone else go back out there again, like as far as he did, like publicly, you know. And then so this is like a peak in Antarctica.
There's
And
tons of them.
and they try and say that it's a natural formed formation. We know that every other pyramid in the whole entire world that we thought were natural, like they just did it in New Guinea, right? They found the new pyramids where it's somewhere like that. They just
They're
found
saying most places where they have hills are covered pyramids.
Yeah,
'Cause they
so-
would always cover it and build a church on top. So most places where there's a church on top of a building on a hill, if you dig, you're good. Because I went to Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
To see the pyramids out there, and one of the guys was taking us around, and he broke it down for us because we were talking about all this shit, and he goes, all over the world, when the Catholic Church came over and started conquering the whole world, every pyramid that you see, they would cover it up, build around it, and put a church right on top of it. So most places, wherever there is a church, underneath it there is something that they're covering.
Yeah, and so like, what are you saying? So what's his name that does lidar, that does not ancient aliens, the
that
ancient
guy, yeah,
apocalypse? He's on Joe Rogan a lot.
Oh, Graham Hancock.
Graham
Yes.
Hancock.
Yeah.
So obviously his team helped invent the lidar, like the lidar shit.
Where they scan the ground.
They're able to tell what's under it, you know, they see it. And so like, yeah, they just found pyramids in New Guinea, and it like put back the age of man like 10,000 years or something than what they thought. And for the longest time, because you know how they call it pseudoscience or whatever, that's what they call Graham Hancock. So like the actual
Yeah, they
name-
call him a kook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, no, here's all my
and he's
evidence.
proved it all, and he proves it
Yeah,
all, and he
he's the
continues
shit.
to.
Yeah.
So, the real, like the mainstream archaeology guys, they were telling for the longest time they did not excavate in New Guinea. They were like, no, that's a mountain. It's a natural formed thing. He brings lidar in there. There's more. I think there's more pyramids in New Guinea now than any other place in the world. And they're undigging them right now, and it's making history go back like way further than we thought it was. So like, we know that there's no naturally formed pyramids. Mountains don't do that. They get jagged peaks and stuff like that, but they're not four fucking flat sides going up to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them in Antarctica, like a shit ton.
There's tons in America that they don't tell you about. Like, you know, you can't get into the Grand Canyon.
Right.
A lot of places. There's a
Well, yeah, I just figured out. Have you guys seen? There's a tribe that still lives in the Grand Canyon. I seen a thing. There's a TikTok. And they're super rich. They're like one of the most rich tribes in the United States, and they live like 60, 70 miles in the Grand Canyon, and they have their own private helicopter that brings them food and stuff like that. But there's some chick that, because they got Starlink now. So there's, yeah, dude, crazy. So there's some chick that's like showing how the tribe life is out there, and it's beautiful and it's untouched. It's like the Sentinels, dude. They're still living like Native Americans back, like, but they obviously get their food and stuff brought in now because they're rich as fuck. But like, yeah, there's so much in the Grand Canyon that we have no fucking.
And they say they find a lot of things similar to ancient Egypt inside the Grand Canyon, sphinxes and hieroglyphics and a lot of stuff inside the caves and tunnels out there. And that's why we're not allowed to fly over there.
There's so much shit that's like, and then Barack Obama. I mean, obviously we know, but he just like, yep, there's aliens.
And I don't know what's a distraction, what's not.
Well, I mean, so with the aliens thing, I mean, Trump, talk about distractions. He comes out and he's like, well, due to great interest, I have directed the blah, 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 blah,
UFO files.
to release all the files we have on UAPs and the blah, 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 and extraterrestrial life. And it's like that used to be a joke amongst the conspiracy people. Like, that was a joke. Like, hey, the minute we all find out about the pedophiles and the elite Jews and the cannibals, they're going to drop the aliens. And that's how you know it's true. And sure enough, they play right into their hands. It was either going to be aliens or war. And we've got both.
Because nobody cared about the aliens. They're like, all right.
Well, because
nobody cared.
Well, I think generally people were just like, hey, if we get to it, cool. Yeah. Well, if we can get to it, that'd be nice. But like, I'd like to afford rent. Yeah. I'd like my son or daughter not to go die in a war.
Exactly. So when I saw this morning, I got it kind of hit me a little bit different because like you guys know like personal shit that's happening right now. I mean, I can't say it yet, but with like just like with my future and stuff like that, it like scared me because.
He's transitioning. You heard it here first. He's giving up his cock.
We all get out of the draft in different ways, all right?
How realistic do you guys think it'll be, or what do you think that like nuclear war
extremely
but like why is it so like are the leaders so much more evil now than Stalin was or people that had nuclear weapons back then? You know what I mean? So why did that never happen? Why is it going to happen now?
I don't think they.
And should we really be scared? Because does everyone want to fucking die? Because like, sorry, but this fool told me something when we were driving that scared the shit out of me, and it's fucking is in my nightmares, and I wish he never fucking told me this. But there's a theory or whatever. There's these people that break it down like how quick if one person launched a nuke, how quick everyone else would launch nukes, bro. And it's like
we're not gonna let you nuke us without us nuking.
And it's like in a matter of like this fool, they have like a whole like kind of simulation, and they say it's in a matter of like 10 minutes that everyone will and the world's just over.
Yeah, that's how they do it, but it won't happen.
Scary.
They want you to be afraid of that.
Okay, that's why I mean,
they
you guys
want
are,
you to be afraid of that. That
feel a little better about it.
At most, yeah, they might drop some bombs and kill people, but to nuke it all, I don't think they would do that. So that's not beneficial for anyone.
Look at he's gonna bring.
Yeah. So what he's referencing? I've brought this on the podcast a few times. I just haven't like gone over to my room to show it. So this is the book that I reference a lot. It's called Nuclear War by Annie Jacobsen. It's very good. Highly recommend it. I think there's an audiobook version of it too, but I like physical media. It's very good. And what I like about this is that in the beginning she lists off all of the people. It's either the beginning or the end. Yeah, so she lists off in the beginning all of the people that she's met with, various people that were either former military, former CIA, people that worked up in Los Alamos, people that worked in Sandia, people that have worked basically, and she lists all of the different nuclear bases that we have both domestically and overseas. A lot of people that work there, and basically the way this book is broken down is so like. It's broken down. The scenario that she proposes is that North Korea launches first. And it's basically the ramifications of a strike from North Korea. And so she starts out setting the framework for it. And then she lays out the rest of the book as a timeline for how it all kicks off. So in part 2, it's the first 24 minutes. Starts in North Korea, and then every section after that, it starts out and it goes, okay, so 1 to 3 seconds after the launch, and then 5 minutes after this happens, and then 25 after this happens. It's a very good book. So I think the misconception too, because I get what you're saying, but well, if they nuke everything, what are they going to rule, right? Basically, there's different types of nuclear weapons, obviously, right?
For sure.
So, and that's why the war with Iran is so very clearly a Israel issue, because they don't have, first of all, they don't have nuclear weapons.
Just like Iraq didn't, right? Just
Right.
like
Yes.
there was no.
So, but more than that, though.
Yeah.
Give me a second. So more than that. Not only do they not have nuclear weapons, the Iranian government does not have intercontinental ballistic missiles. They only have continental ballistic
hit
missiles
Israel.
to hit Israel and their surrounding countries. But who do they really have a problem? Yes, they have a weird partnership, but sure, they have some issues with the UAE and they have some issues with Saudi.
Well, they bombed Jordan,
Sure.
right? Back
Yes.
this morning?
Yes,
or
so
whatever?
this morning, that's a good point. I was going to get to that, but it's a good point. So this morning, they bombed Qatar, Jordan, they bombed another country, and they bombed our naval base in Bahrain.
Yeah.
So, but my point is that they don't even have intercontinental ballistic missiles. They only have continental ballistic missiles, which is, a problem for Israel, not a problem for the U.S. They've been saying, and not just they, meaning the media and the Israeli media apparatus, Benjamin Netanyahu himself,
Since 95.
since fucking 1995, has been saying that Iran, obviously the timeline changes, anywhere from a week to 3 months away from a nuclear weapon. Last year, when we had the 12-day war, where every neocon under the fucking planet, from Trump to Lindsey Graham to Mark Levin, were all saying it was a successive strike. We destroyed their nuclear.
Why do we have to do it again then?
Yeah, we'd set them back decades. This is just a 12-year war. You people are complaining. And of course, everyone from like the big political commentators to little guys like me are like, no, this shit isn't over yet. How do we know it's not over yet? Well, first of all, they're immediately giving themselves a mission accomplished statement, just like in 2004 in Iraq. They're immediately giving themselves the mission accomplished shit when it didn't happen. They're saying that all of it was completed, even though we had zero boots on the ground. So how are you going to verify that? So we know it's not done. And then here we are again, striking Iran so they don't. Well, the crazy thing is, there's some people out, like Netanyahu. Netanyahu was out saying that they still have nuclear weapons and they're going to build a nuclear weapon and they're a week away. An article came out on CNN Tuesday about that, right? Then you have this morning, Donald Trump, he doesn't even mention the nuclear program. He mentioned nuclear program, he doesn't mention nuclear weapons. He doesn't even say nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
He just straight up says we're in there to give freedom to the Iranian people.
It's changed.
It's literally Iraq all over again. It's the same playbook. Nothing has changed.
He's doing it for Izzy.
They hate you for your freedom.
Yeah.
All over again. So with the nuclear war thing, different types of nuclear weapons, right? So there's a traditional like nuclear bomb or a hydrogen bomb.
Which are smaller, right?
So it goes tactical nuclear generally, right? Just there's different versions, obviously, but just generally speaking, you have the three categories. You have a tactical nuclear weapon, which is country based, like you're gonna or like metropolitan area, right? Like
sure,
you're gonna hit a couple of cities,
Tri-state
maybe
area or something like that.
yeah. You're something like that. Then you have a nuclear bomb that's bigger, like a medium size but bigger, and then you have a hydrogen bomb, which would like wipe out Israel. Because Israel's not big; it's the size of New Jersey.
Wipe out Texas or something like not Texas.
Not all of it. Like it would take out most of New Mexico and heavily affect Texas, Arizona, Colorado. Right, like big stuff. But that's why the proposed target sites of America are going to be like Los Angeles, Los Alamos, Nebraska. Because Los Alamos and Oklahoma, because there's a major nuclear site out there. Colorado is a major nuclear site out there in the mountains, and then like the eastern seaboard, because it's so condensed population wise.
Yeah.
So there's different versions of what they can.
So we
hit
need
with.
to move.
And so, well, I mean, personally, dude,
To Canada with this.
It's not safe either.
Well, yeah. Well, this is yes, but also this is a different conversation we can have later, maybe. But me personally, if the nukes fly, hit me in the blast. I don't want to live in a post-nuclear
For sure.
war.
No, I feel you.
Anyway,
I feel you. On
anyway,
that.
so like when the
unless I could be like Book of Eli.
no, fuck that,
No, like I could be Eli.
blind,
Yeah, and the
blind,
swords and
blind and
shit.
black. But like my, so my whole thing is like
I can't see, but my dick is big. I a few.
So when the Ukrainian, like I remember I sat down with, and he's totally bought and paid for by Israel now, and he won't sit down with me anymore. But
Who's this?
one of our New Mexico representatives, Jay Block, I sat down with him a few years ago on the podcast when he was running for governor. And he spent his entire career in the Air Force working with nuclear weapons, in and around nuclear weapons. He held nuclear launch codes for like a year and a half. And we did our podcast, we ended, but then his car was late. So we had like 20 minutes together to sit down and chat. And this is like maybe 3 weeks, if that, before Russia invaded Ukraine. And I was like, hey man, you're the guy to ask. I promise everything is off. Like, scale of 1 to 10, how realistic if Russia invades that nukes are on the table? How realistic? He was like, oh, it's very well possibility. He explained it a lot better than I ever could. But it's basically just like, yeah, they are on the table. And he brought up Iran and Israel. And he was like, listen, if that pops off, it's more than likely going to happen. So we were talking about earlier about there's a running theory that Iran has some footage of Donald Trump doing some naughty stuff, and Israel has the same, so he's got to bomb Iran. He's making his podcast rounds right now. His name is John. I always fuck up his last name. It's John Curacao.
Is he cool?
Curacao.
You like him?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
Right. I was gonna say fuck his last name.
So
but if you like him.
he's a CIA whistleblower under the Bush administration into the Obama administration when he was one of the first major whistleblowers talking about the torture program that America had in the Middle East. And he let it, I don't know if to say he let it slip, but he's been talking about how his sources in the White House have been telling him that Trump has been very resistant to bombing Iran, which I mostly agree with, to be honest with you.
I believe it.
He's been resistant to doing that because he understands that not just his base, but the vast majority of America does not want war in the Middle East. We're hot off the GWOT war. We don't want that again.
Yeah.
What's the GWOT war?
Global war on terror.
Oh.
So we're hot off that. Bankrupt the
That
country.
sounds so racist. I don't know.
The GWOTs?
GWOT.
Goddamn GWOTs.
So,
Go back to your country.
but then Netanyahu basically pressured Trump before we hit Iran last year. Basically went to him and said, hey, listen, man, either you guys take out a nuclear program and you hit them for us, or we are going to hit them with a tactical nuke. Do what you want.
Yeah.
I believe that more than I do the Epstein angle.
For sure.
That's a lot more realistic to me.
sure, that
Now,
makes
both
sense.
could be very
Yeah.
true. Like, I'm never going to say no to anything anymore.
They
but
both are true.
But I think the nuke
One of them holds more weight than the other, though.
You don't think that they're taking people out and replacing them with copies of themselves? Like Ghislaine, you
Dude, the Joe Biden thing you were talking about.
The Ghislaine thing. I don't know.
so many,
The,
dude.
the pictures of her now,
Are weird.
sketch.
And then now she's just like,
Is it also, my girlfriend was saying, because your Botox dissolves after a while, like after
Well, so that was
2-3 years or something, your Botox dissolves. So you have to, that's why girls always get Botox.
Well, that's
and,
what I was going to
lip
ask
filler
about
and
too. Is
stuff
like,
that.
what is in general the like. Because not that she's been in a horrible prison or anything, she hasn't been, but just like the aging that happens in
Has to be
prison, like
fast.
what happens to your body, like it's gonna change you, obviously. But
your accent and everything. Your
I haven't
voice.
heard her speak recently.
They did a comparison of her in her recent testimony versus her speaking in the past.
It is different.
It's just completely different.
And the crazy thing is that you can take like human cloning and DNA crossing all the way back like thousands of years to like alchemy in Egypt and stuff like that. So like, who's to say that people don't do that shit? And like, yeah, I would believe that more than a lot of things, that they can clone a human.
Well, we know that China is leading the front right now with CRISPR and CRISPR-2. So do you know about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, but they
Disney
so like
babies.
they say
Disney babies.
they say leading the front. But like, how do we know that we're not already way
So that's
ahead
my
of
point.
it?
Is like,
You
so
know what I mean?
we know public, like it's public information that they have that.
Yeah.
So then it's the theory of the unknown. It's like,
Yeah.
well, what do we don't know about? So I'm not opposed to anything.
Dude,
literally anything.
When you
No,
posted,
so I'm just saying. So it probably is the Epstein angle, but he's covered everything but that last piece. Like he's got rid of Ghislaine. He got rid of Epstein. There's no one who can really say anything about him anymore. There's no pictures or proof of him. And the last bit of proof that there might be is what the people who started all this have.
Do you think Iran? But here's my question. This is the only because I completely, honestly, with like 80 to 85% belief on the idea that Netanyahu went to Trump and said, "If you don't hit him, we're going to use a nuke." I totally believe that happened. Right? There's literally no reason to believe that didn't happen. My question about the Epstein theory is, what are the like? Is it more likely that Iran has those videos of Trump or they don't?
I don't think it's. I think the videos of Trump and stuff, I think they have it, but I think it's more of a release of like the stuff we were talking about. We'll give you the actual information of how you guys have been behind everything that's happened.
Right, like the financial stuff.
Yeah, it goes back to like fucking JFK type shit, man. We'll give you guys all of the information.
But does Israel have that or does Iran have that?
Israel has
Israel,
that.
yeah, okay. I believe that. Oh,
They have that 9/11 information that they're withholding because they know once the American public truly knows what happened on 9/11, that's the thing that'll flip the switch.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Everything else can make people think about
Exactly.
should we get up and take to the streets. Finding out they did that, bro, they never forget was real. No one forgot. And if they find out that it was an inside job
agree.
and they know for a fact it was an inside job,
And
tables will fucking
And
turn.
I would see not even like I think that us as citizens, we would have allies from other countries, maybe like Canada and stuff. That would even like
everybody.
they would be like, "Yo, discover, yeah, they're fucked. Fuck Israel. Fuck America. Like fuck the regime." Like
that's what. So you bring up a good point. You bring up a very good point. Because I've been thinking about that myself. At what point does
someone come help us, like we helped
when is there
Iraq or something? You know what I mean?
No, just like when maybe actually, but like when is there a permission structure for the global state to turn on Israel in a real way, not just like grandstanding
Nothing's
or
happened
voting,
yet. The crazy shit,
but like legitimately like not funding anymore.
It's just like a revolution in a country on a bigger scale. It takes one person to step up and really do something.
So who needs to step up?
Someone that's in a superpower.
What country?
Because the small countries have stepped up already.
So like maybe the UN or like I know that the UK is fucked, but they're arresting Prince Andrew. They're changing like they kind of did a regime change with the Queen dying and stuff like that. So maybe there's no one else that
Probably once the US turns, it'll turn.
yeah, there's no one else. I don't feel like since they arrested Prince Andrew, he was in a lot of power when Epstein was in his thing. You know what I mean? Like doing at the peak of his game.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew still had pull in the UK and all that stuff. And now that their family's kind of getting out of it and what's his name and the black chick, they're not fucking in it anymore. I think.
Oh, Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
and
maybe
what's his fuck,
maybe
yeah.
they don't have. Maybe they don't have any like. Maybe it's the first country that there wasn't leaders to protect them anymore, and that's why people are getting arrested. You know what I mean? So it needs to start with that. Like Bill Clinton needs to be arrested. Hillary Clinton needs to be arrested.
Well, the crazy thing about Hillary Clinton is that she said under oath recently that she does not remember ever meeting Epstein, and there's pictures of them together.
Killer.
Bullshit.
No, real shit.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
No, real shit.
Yeah.
They said it. They're like, let's do it in front of cameras, in front of everybody.
we were talking
And
about that last night. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
what happened? What did they say? Nothing. I did nothing.
Bro,
Bill
Bill
Clinton said
Clinton-
if I saw anything, I would have shut it down so fast.
Bill Clinton looks
Yeah,
like
this guy lied.
not
bro.
only did they wipe his memory or something, they're injecting him with potassium or something like that, but also there was like a gun held to his head on the other side of the camera while I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this guy looks scared.
I didn't watch this public statement that he just put out like this morning
he
or
looks
yesterday.
scared.
But I saw an image of it and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that dude is he's I don't know, dude. But that's a very good point.
It's not gonna flip until like you said, we get someone like we need someone like fuck the New Mexico politics, but like how like Bregman right now as the DA and stuff, like he's a little, they're all questionable. I'm not on anyone's side, but like someone that's standing up like fuck ICE, you guys aren't doing that here. I know that's like on small scale and stuff like that, but like it has to be someone who is there, because like there's no like real like Captain America figure. We were talking about it. Like there's no polarizing figures.
Well,
You said they sat down with The Rock and he was like, fuck no. But
you
we
know
also
what?
don't want The Rock as our
There's guys in America that are probably fighting to be that figure, but the media works so hard for us to never know
A
who
good
they
example of that in Florida is James Fishback.
are. I have no idea who that is, but
So-
that's what I'm saying. So when the tides do turn, it'll be a guy that we don't know that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so James Fishback is running right now for governor of Florida, and out the gate, and he's been doing really well on social media. Out the gate, his whole thing is like, listen, the state of Florida every year gives is either 380 or 280 million dollars a year to Israel. That's not fucking happening anymore. We're divesting, and I'm actually going to try to. Now, obviously, he's not going to be able to bill him back in real life, but he's like, I'm going to fucking send an invoice, get that money back. First of all, he's like, second of all, we're going to like get all that. We're going to stop spending that money, and then we're going to invest all that money into young couples, and the amount of kids you have, that's going to be a bigger tax break, and it's going to go towards you owning a home for the first time. So we're going to do that. And he's doing all of these super, like, I wouldn't even say, like, traditionally conservative, sure, but it's super, like, a pro-America angle.
Take care of your kids first.
That it just helps everyone that lives in the state of Florida. So that's your first guy that comes to mind that's getting suppressed. This because he's running against Byron Donald, who is a incredibly APAC invested person.
What's his name? DeSantis or whatever. He's done.
No.
He's not. He can't run again, right?
I don't think he can run again, but also even if he was great on everything, which he isn't really, he did really good during COVID. Like that's the thing that he's great on was
kept it
COVID.
open.
But he like his political moment's done, and he's also just like he's just not the guy. But
For sure.
because the issue the Republicans have right now, amongst the many, is that they are all attached, every single one of them on the federal level, in one way or another, they are all attached to either the Epstein cover-up or now the Iran war, with the exception of Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. Now, Rand Paul is never going to be president. That's just not going to happen. He kind of ruined that for himself just by being himself. He was too early on. Like if he started if he was prime in his political career right now, there might be a conversation. But he's just not the guy. Thomas Massey, on the other hand, with the amount of saber rattling he's been doing around the Epstein files and heading that bill with Ro Khanna, he's the only dude on the federal level in the Republican Party that is not affected by the Epstein stuff, that has been consistently anti-war. He's been consistently against government spending. So he has his track record, and a lot of people know about him, and more people learn about him.
What about the Ro Khanna guy?
So that's exactly what I was going to get to.
Even I know about that guy.
Yeah. So then you look at the Democratic Party. Now the issue that the Democrats have, I was looking at polling about 5 months ago, when it was right after we had hit, maybe it was more than 7 months ago now. After we had hit Iran, that's when Trump's numbers really started tanking. Like there were some issues around ICE and there's some issues around the economy, but the big thing was us hitting Iran, and that started tanking his numbers, and then the Epstein stuff started compiling, right? Even though, it's traditionally, and it makes sense, when the party that's in power, when their numbers start going down, generally the populace is like, well, we got to go back to the other guys, right? We got to go back to whoever's not in power. So their numbers start to creep up a little bit. The issue the Democrats have right now is that while Trump's numbers are tanking, their numbers are staying low. So the vast majority of people, now how much do you trust polls? Who knows?
For sure.
Again, if we're going off of a base of understanding here, the general American public, which I'd have to agree with personally, I agree this is probably the case. They don't love what the Republicans are doing. A lot of them hate it. But the vast majority don't want to go back to the Democrats. Well, because they saw how bad the Democrats...
They got to step out and make a new party or something.
Right. So then, that's why... The reason I bring this up is... If I were to wave a magic wand and create a presidential ticket that might work, it's Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna. That's your best bet. And I don't agree with the things that I've learned about Ro Khanna and his policy... his policy leanings and his views on things. I don't agree with most of what he's into. He's a representative out of California. Not a huge fan of him,
For sure.
with the exception of I agree with some of what he says about universal healthcare and the Epstein files. And my whole thing is like,
he's working with the Republicans to.
He's working with Thomas Massey. That's the important distinction.
Yeah.
They had to force Congress to vote on that bill. It was at like DC time. It was like 10:30, 10:45. Made it to the president's desk, and Trump signs it at like 12:15 in the morning, right? So, and they had to force that vote, and that's one of the only. I think that's the only vote that happened where it was like 426 to 1 or some shit. That was some fucking guy out of Nevada. But if you get, because just like Thomas Massey's stock is rising, Ro Khanna's is the same way. So if you throw them on a ticket together, now what party do they run on? Do they run independently? Who knows?
It's just
But that's really your only option at this point because the Republicans have nobody. There's just nobody. Like, sorry, they've ruined the like. JD Vance is not going to be president.
No way.
Marco Rubio was never going to be president, especially now. And then Tulsi Gabbard ruined her chances too.
I don't see a Republican candidate being our next president.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Democrat side, AOC, even though she's trying to move herself a little more center, she's way too left for most of this country.
Yeah.
So she's never going to do it. Gavin Newsom has the problem of California. He's never going to be it. I used to like laugh at it, but now that I've been thinking about it a little bit more, on the Democratic side, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Stephen A. Smith might be their best option.
Dude, that's what I was telling you when I called you the other day.
Yeah, and I told you to go fuck yourself. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way. But like, who else on the Democratic Party? Because the Democratic Party right now is ran. There's a camp that's Obama, and you have a camp that's the Clinton camp. The Clinton camp is dying. The Obama camp is failing. Now I know there's not a huge difference between dying. And
Shout
failing.
out Big Mike.
But like, they can't run Michelle Obama. That window already cleared. Their window for that was this last election. So that window's done.
They would have won if they would have. I think if they would have ran her, I think they might
But
have won.
who would you run her with? That's the issue. She can't be president. She'd be a VP. Real shit. No, real shit. Let's
Yeah.
just be honest. Like, let's be perfectly honest here.
You don't think that she would run as No,
She wouldn't win. She just would not win.
I had just from a lot of like the people that I hang out around with and stuff like that, and like the stuff that I see in 2020, what was it 2024? A lot of people wanted her to run. Like that was like such like
Yeah, they did.
all the Democrats.
Well,
and,
wanting
like,
If I was her and I won, I'd whip out my dick.
just at the inaugural address. Oh, hey, Republicans, by the way.
told y'all motherfuckers.
Big Mike. Big Mike is president. She puts on a fucking cut.
But she wouldn't have won. I personally, I don't even think it's a race thing or like a gender thing.
For sure.
Well, so I think it's more of a gender thing than it is a race thing. But I think that she just doesn't have. Think about what they did with her. Now, granted, the first lady isn't a real position, let's be honest, but it's a position.
Yeah.
What did they do with her when she was? Because you need to juxtapose on the Democratic Party side of things. You need to juxtapose her with Hillary Clinton, right? So when Hillary Clinton's the first lady, she's actually advocating for like real policy, like foreign policy issues. Now, they're not good, but she's like inserting herself because she wanted to be the first woman president. That was her life mission. I will kill everybody. I will eat all the babies. I will do whatever I have to become the first woman president, right? So she's like inserting herself into her husband's administration to actually push policy and do those kind of things, right? You look at what Michelle Obama did when her husband was in for two
just called kids
two terms.
fat.
That was her whole thing, was the health and wellness of children. Now, it's respectable,
Didn't
but
help
it's,
me.
but it's not. But it's not moving the
Fuck
needle.
you, Big Mike.
You know what I mean? It's not moving the needle on anything.
They were just using it to get more kids to get to the island.
There you go.
Maybe. They don't want to fuck the fat kids. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing.
Easier to smuggle.
There's
skinny
nothing
ones.
there for her.
It just puts them in a position to be around kids.
Yeah, you could fit more into a shipping container. Okay, you can't fit a ton of fatties in there, but you get a lot of those. Skinny
So okay,
kids in
so
there.
you're saying, like you said, we need like a different party or independent. The last independent president to win was Teddy Roosevelt in 1902 or something like that,
Well, it's
right?
not that early, but was he independent?
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was independent. He was the last one. To
I feel like he was. Yeah, but I don't remember when he won. But
It has to be in such turmoil that someone
yeah, it
pops
was
up and
19.
is like,
it was
yo,
like 1902, 1900.
I'll be
I think,
perfectly
yeah.
honest. Like, I think that an independent candidate doesn't pop up until we have some sort of revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like real shit. Like the two party system needs to die.
But the two guys you were just talking about, if they were to run, their smartest bet would to be independent, right?
Well, that's their only way to. That's the only way they could do it and still own some legitimacy.
Yeah.
Unless they just
Because you can't sell out to the other party as the other
exactly.
guy, right?
Unless they absolutely, because we were on that ride up to Taos. I was basically explaining about how we're never going to have another Trump in the way that someone that captures the culture, like that.
polarizing like that.
You're never going to have somebody like that unless they manage. They choose Republican, Democrat, whatever party, and they manage to just do this stellar knockout, like what your country can do for you level speech that JFK had, where they both come out and they're like, "This is why we decided this party. We will be taking no money. We'll be blah, blah," unless they manage to do something like that, and most people see it, which isn't feasible. They would have to maintain some legitimacy. They would have to run independent because there's no way Thomas Massey can run on the Democratic Party and retain most of the Republican base.
Yeah, no way.
That's just not going to happen. And then same thing with Ro Khanna.
Just like Trump couldn't run as a Democrat when he was a lifelong Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Okay, let's fuck the politics off. We'll get on to something else. How long have we been talking for? Like a fucking hour already.
Yeah.
All about Israel.
Well, I just love the fucking
Everything is about them. That's why.
Well, I just love the conspiracy shit that you post on your story every now and again. I'm like, I know I like that guy.
Nah, for sure.
And then he's that dog, dude.
Okay, so
bullshit.
we were driving around yesterday, and I asked this fool because we were talking about a bunch of shit, and I was like, let's stop. Let's wait until we do the podcast.
Yeah.
So first off, give me your top 5 favorite rappers. Or no, we said we were gonna go all music, right? So let's do top 5 artists of all time, but your biased opinion. I want to hear who your favorite people are to listen, even if you don't think they're the best of all time. And you can come up with your list too in your mind, even though it doesn't matter.
Kanye West.
Number 1 is your favorite.
My favorite.
Put them in order.
In order.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's even harder. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Fuck.
tough.
I forgot. I never
Nah,
you told me to
fuck
think
order.
about
Just
it,
do 5
and
in
I never
general.
thought about it after.
Okay.
Yeah,
fucking
just do 5 in general. So Kanye.
Fuck, this is hard. The Gorillas.
Okay, that's fire.
Fuck, you know what? That's hard. Fuck. I never change one of their tracks when it's on. Fucking Sublime.
Okay.
Okay.
You know. Fuck. Michael Jackson.
Has to be. He has to be on both lists. One more.
Fuck, I'm already disrespecting so many people.
That's where it gets tough on the disrespect.
There's so many people that should make it. Who
Better
comes
say
on?
Netanyahu or you're dead.
Yeah. That Israeli band.
the Marias.
Yeah, you know that Israeli band that we all love.
Has Israel ever done one? Sorry, we're gonna go back.
Yeah,
to
they
this.
did rap.
One good thing-
They did what happened to rap. They are the reason rap is rap.
Oh, the whole JC shit, the Jay-Z thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's not get into that
they
kind
go,
of shit.
it goes into America and them owning CIA and the CIA ruining rap.
That's actually
to
a real
make it
thing.
what it is.
Right.
To
Yeah,
ruin
it's actually a
the
real
young
thing.
mind. It
Yeah.
goes fucking deep.
Is
dog.
that the same era as MK Ultra? It's
They're
really
in everything, and you could talk about any subject. It's in education. It's in everything.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Not the same era as MK Ultra. It's the same era as the Iran Contra.
Yeah, no,
It's the NWA shit.
me and you talked about. Remember, I talked to you about that one time with the MK Ultra stuff. How so like if you look at like all the people that led the movement that were technically hippies in the 70s, because remember at first when they were first protesting the Vietnam War, it's people in suits, it's college students, it's these people saying no, you know what I mean? And so they say that like what's his name, James Morrison, is that the lead singer of the Doors? Mm-hmm. James Morrison. Who else did I say? Stevie Nicks. A few other like huge artists from
Your
back
mom
then.
gave you that Stevie Nicks vinyl. That was pretty cool.
That's a fire. Shout out to my mom. That was a fire Stevie Nicks song or album. But they link it, dude. All of their parents back then, like the ones of these hippie bands, are all like high military ranking officials that were like at the lead front of the Vietnam War and stuff like that. So they made these like hippies and these people that they would say Charles Manson would listen to and stuff like that. They made them the ones that got famous so that they could say that like, look, the hippies are the ones that are protesting the Vietnam War. Like,
And how
these
most of
stupid
the
fucks,
most
you know?
of the civil, or actually all of the civil rights activists at the time were Freemasons.
Yeah.
Every president
Is a Freemason or is related to a Freemason?
they're all related in a certain way except for one.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, the
That-
whole like web.
Yeah, the fucking family tree of how they all
All
are.
connects to
Because they
oligarchs.
because they didn't figure out how to do it based off of just the presidents, but when they included the wives, they're like, okay, here's how they connect and here's where they. Yeah. I need to dig into that more, but I didn't see that.
It goes all the way back to like the oligarchies and kings and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Because they tell us we don't have kings anymore, but it's just consolidated power.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton
Dressed up.
Hillary Clinton's family is like one of the like came across on the Mayflower or some shit, right? They say like some
Oh, I'm gonna be surprised.
like she goes deep back. Like her family's like an original like a Vanderbilt or one of the original like families in the United States.
What are they up to? What are you guys doing?
What are your top 5?
Okay, so top 5, I'm gonna go Drake.
Pedo.
Fuck you, dude.
A minor.
No, dude, you're from Toronto.
I
Don't
know.
do that,
Still
fool.
the man.
Don't do that.
He's our pedo.
Next, this fool's gonna get jumped next time he goes back to Toronto because I know Drake watches my podcast. So I'm gonna go Drake. Number 2, let's see, my favorite, Zach Bryan.
That's actually valid.
And remember, this is my biased opinion, because I have like an unbiased top 5 of people that you have to say because
In the world?
you have to respect like what they've done musically, you know. So I'm gonna go Drake. I'm gonna go Zach Bryan. I'm gonna go Michael Jackson. I'm gonna go Kanye, 50 Cent.
I haven't given you my 5th yet.
Uh-uh.
I don't know who my 5th is.
This is Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica,
nah,
Ice Nine Kills.
no, they're not even my top 5. So if I had to like top just favorites,
Yeah.
no specific order. Avenged. Avenged. Green Day.
Green Day.
Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels.
He put me on to Run the Jewels.
so good.
Kanye.
Immortal Technique. Bush knocked down the tower.
It's like there's so many that should be number 5. Like I'm cool with saying Eminem.
His name was William. That's your favorite song by Immortal Technique.
I'm perfectly
Dances with the Devil.
Dances with the Devil. That was a fucking crazy song.
like I'm perfectly fine saying Eminem. I'm perfectly fine saying like the Rolling Stones.
The Beatles. That's
Michael,
my 5th.
like Michael Jackson. I'm cool with that. Like there's so many that in that
There's
round that out.
But okay, so let's also the craziest thing: the best rock bands come from the UK. Absolutely, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Pink
Sabbath.
Floyd, Black Sabbath.
Sabbath's my 5th. Sabbath is my 5th.
Yeah.
War Pigs. What a good song, man.
Black Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Who else is from? I mean, Oasis, the Beatles.
Oasis is UK?
Yes,
I didn't know
They're
that.
hard. They were like the second coming of the Beatles. That was like their like that's
know
their
that.
thing. Yeah, the best bands are from the United Kingdom. I mean, we have good, but like you get into American rock and it's all cocaine rock. It's fucking Metallica. It's fucking Motley Crue. It's
Yeah.
I mean the best. I think the best American rock band, classic rock band of all time is Leonard Skinner. That's just like Freebird's a crazy
What a
song.
good song.
Simple Man's a crazy song.
Canada gave you guys Rush.
True. Yeah, and Wolverine.
I don't know if I can argue against Leonard Skinner as far as classic rock goes.
Who I mean, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. They're up there. They have like a really good, solid, like their greatest hits. But
You guys got Bruce.
true, Bruce Springsteen.
I don't give a fuck about Springsteen that much. I gotta
He
be
just
honest with
hates
you.
him because he hates Ice.
No, I just don't care about Springsteen. It never got me. I was never just like,
I mean,
Billy Joel. That's
Oh
a
yeah, we were me and him were listening to.
I never even fuck about Billy Joel either. He's got a couple of
dude,
good
have
songs.
you heard
but
Vienna? The song Vienna.
Probably.
Dude, I was fucking this chick had me in a trance at fucking karaoke singing it, and I'd never heard that song before. And so I go and play it in my car, and I'm like, yo, this is a good fucking song.
I'm not
dude.
like
What
I'm not
the
not
fuck?
acknowledging how talented.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
it just never got.
I mean, Bob Dylan is the same for me. People say that's
Same.
Man, I think that fool sucks, dude. He says the N word way too much back in his songs back in the day. First of all,
It's cool.
no, it's like it's not even rap,
as an
bro.
Indian guy, I give him the pass.
His favorite rapper is Nav,
No, definitely not. Shout out Nav though.
Who the fuck is Nav?
He's an
the
Indian
little
guy
brown
from Toronto.
boy.
That specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, so we all get okay. So now let's go top. Let's. I guess let's see if we can consensus come up with a list of the top 5 best
Overall
musical
artists.
acts of all time.
So Michael Jackson.
Michael
number one,
Jackson,
right?
the Beatles,
Yeah,
Drake.
Michael Jackson is the okay. No, I'll take that back. I was gonna say he was the best performer. The best performer is Jamie Foxx, but the best musical artist is Michael Jackson. Like there is just no one. We're talking about like I hate to compare to Trump, but like how Trump captured the political culture like that. Yes, the Beatles captured.
No, the Beatles were a band
yeah.
for 7 years.
Yeah,
That's it.
Like Beatles mania
They did something crazy.
is
Yeah, for
like
sure,
they're the
for sure.
reason that, like, you know what I mean. And then Sabbath after them, and you know, Pink Floyd, they had like a music revolution on their side of the psychedelic things, especially during the time that it came out. But like with Michael Jackson, he became the musical equivalent of the Superman S. You go anywhere and you show a little kid the Superman S, they know exactly what that is.
Dude, and that's why when someone's like, Prince is better than Michael, I instantly want to sock them before Michael Jackson's even the rest of his name comes out of them.
Yeah, no.
Bro, because you'll listen to it, like listen to When Doves Cry or Purple Rain. It's all right. It's not even like I don't want to listen to that
I
shit.
love those songs personally.
Okay.
On numbers alone, it's MJ, Beatles, and Drake.
Yeah, they're the top. They're the top art selling artist, most touring artist, most charting artist, most. I mean, well now Kendrick's won a bunch of Grammys, but
Oh, come on.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
Somebody hand him a Grammy.
yeah, come on.
Now.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think and the Grammys nowadays too are so like diluted and
The moment that I found out, I count the Grammys as guilty by association, even though I know next to nothing
Yeah, yeah.
about the Grammys. The moment that I found out, like last year or the year before last, that up until then, when they were reviewing movies for the Oscars,
Yeah.
they didn't have to watch every movie.
No.
I was just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Now I don't care.
and now they just changed it with like SAG and with the music unions and stuff that they're doing. Now it's peer-to-peer voting, but before, for the longest time, the Academy for music and movies was just a bunch of old white people.
What do you mean peer-to-peer voting?
Like, so now with the Grammys and with the Oscars, it's actors that vote and musicians that vote for who it's going to be now. So at least
That's
it's
retarded.
But
No,
it's
that's
better.
dumb.
No, I think that's better than. It's only been the last 2 years, but I think that that's better than a bunch of fucking
Randoms.
randoms.
Letting the industry decide.
But who's the arbiter of that shit? You know
Who's
what
the
I mean?
arbiter of any shit?
Yeah,
Who's to
exactly.
say?
it-
Well, did you
Why
watch?
do we judge art?
Well, did you watch Warfare? Did you watch that movie?
No.
It's very good. It's by A24. It came out, I think, early last year. It's real quick. It's an hour and a half. It's about these Navy SEALs in the Battle of Fallujah, and the whole movie is they get stuck in a house and they're fighting their way out. Like, that's the whole movie. It's really good. The best part of that movie, in my opinion, is the sound design. Like, seeing that in the theater, it's pitch perfect, and it's made like it's directed by a guy who's actually like the guy who directed it. It's a firefight that he was in, and so they knocked it out of the park with sound design. And I remember watching that and just thinking like it had come out last year, so I was like, if this movie doesn't at least get nominated for best sound design, then like what is anything
Yeah,
anymore?
yeah.
And they didn't get nominated. It's like, okay, yeah, we're done. Like objectively, like
That's
you watch that movie, it's just pitch perfect.
I kind of and like so obviously we all know I'm a Drake stan, whatever, I'll say it. But watching how the industry handled that and like how Jay-Z famously was only giving features to Drake for a while. Like he was only featured on Drake's albums for a while, and then all of a sudden he runs the Super Bowl thing and he gives Kendrick it and like the whole Super Bowl was all about Drake. You know what I mean? It was not like us, it was all of the disses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then for Kendrick to win a Grammy off Not Like Us, that's not a Grammy-winning song. That's
well,
not
that
a Grammy
that never
award-winning
really
song.
that never really clicked for me, and obviously
They don't want. It was another conspiracy. They don't want Drake because he's one hit away from the Beatles,
He's literally one number one away from having the most number ones of all time.
and they don't want that.
from matching the Beatles or superseding.
superseding. He's tied with them right now, and the thing is, so it's crazy. So
Holy shit! I
And
know that.
the whole industry attacked him because they don't want that.
yeah,
Well, so that makes a lot of sense to me too. But and also maybe it's just because I've got that political lean in my brain. But until you explained to me how he signed on and he was one of the biggest voices about the anti-Israel, like when
Yep,
the
the
war,
Palestine stuff,
like
yeah.
when the
Drake?
yeah.
Was he? I never
Yeah,
heard
we looked up everything. He signed most of the petitions any petition that was celebrity wise for Free Palestine. Drake's name was one of the first people on there.
well, so and it was
on there.
I forget the actual list that we looked at, but it was the usual suspects because it was across music. Or no, it was for music.
Yeah.
and it was the usual suspects on there that you would expect to like
Springsteen,
Like
people
they
like that,
they
yeah.
didn't even sign it. I'm sure their representatives did. Like they don't have a real view on anything. But Drake isn't very political.
Never.
But not only did he sign that, I saw him talking about it. I remember that. And so I have to have the industry turn him like that. I was like, okay, that
so you
makes
know,
a lot of sense.
did you know? So if you deep dive into it, you can chat GBT that shit and everything, and it'll tell you that it's real. I was showing him when the beef. So when the beef first happened, I had him listen to every single song, and then we did a podcast and we talked about. And he like objected. All the songs were good. They went at each other and they fucking. There was bars, but when you break down the whole situation that happened, and he figures out, and then I start telling him about like how it's like lies, and he set him up to do this and do this, and then we start talking about how the week before, Like That dropped, Drake was asked to do. There's like some paperwork somewhere of something where he was asked to do a bar mitzvah in Israel for one of the military people, and he told him no. And then the next thing you know, the whole industry is after this fool. The whole entire industry, you know what I mean?
I believe it.
It's crazy how you said
And he hangs
everything's
with-
connected to it, dude.
Everything is, and they literally. The reason why Americans are the way we are is because the media made us this way. We deal with propaganda everywhere we go. It's the most
Nobody is
advertised-
immune to propaganda.
It's the most advertised country in the world. As soon as you step out of your house, there's advertising.
Look at this fool's room.
It's all.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's
And don't get me wrong, through it we've gotten some amazing art,
Yeah.
but some of the biggest things we like they're fucking with us. They're literally in our subconscious. They're making us think a certain way. They're making us live a certain way. That's why fucking Chinese TikTok algorithm is completely different than our algorithm. They give us shit. They want us to fucking doom scroll
So
and just see
I haven't been on
garbage.
TikTok in a minute, but I remember like
Instagram, same shit.
like when I was using
Same
it
thing.
when I was using it last year, I remember they added this little feature
stem?
on the the stem on the very we have to scroll to it. It's like tweaked or it's like peeked into the back
So
there on the top.
small.
It's gotta like go like that and press and it says all the math and science and shit like that. But yeah. It's well then now you have with TikTok, you have the Ellisons that just bought through Paramount, they bought Warner Brothers, and so now they own CNN. Today, dude, I was watching that Crystal and Soccer video. Today, there's an article this morning that comes out from CNN talking about how the strikes in Iran and how important it is, how it goes back to the book of Deuteronomy.
Yeah. That's why
It's like what?
Yeah,
and I forget what the actual word for it is in Jewish culture, but it comes from the Old Testament, and it's basically when God tells who the fuck he tells a king, he tells somebody to go into a country and slaughter all of them and kill the women, the men, the children, the animals, and to kill all of them. And the term that's used for that is is like the slang word that's now used for the Palestinians.
Goyim or whatever.
No, not
Goyim.
Goyim. No, it's not Goyim.
We're all Goyim.
No, it's not Goyim. It's
You're a Goy, you're a Goy. Together we're Goyim.
yeah, it's a different word. It's a Jewish. I forget the fuck. It's a Jewish term. But in the article, they're referencing that. So it's like, yo, the check hasn't even cleared yet, and
Yeah.
you fuckers are writing
And
these.
the-
Well,
articles.
it's just transferred Israeli families. It was owned
Yeah.
by Israel before too.
And now I'm scared. Now I was so excited about the fucking DC universe. James Gunn isn't going to want to work under the Trump umbrella and do what they say for him to do.
He doesn't have a choice. Do you really think? God bless him, but do you really think James Gunn is a free thinker when it comes to the industry?
I guess, yeah.
Come
probably
on.
not when you're that high, but
Come on.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna change. I was excited. I was low-key excited about Netflix buying it. In the back of my mind, your boy Snyder might have had a chance.
I knew that
with
was never gonna
Netflix,
happen.
It was
but-
everything was better when it was independently owned, or they just
Well,
had
yeah.
different owners.
That's why we have monopoly laws. But what blows my mind personally is so in 2017. Yeah, in 2017, when Disney signed the deal with Fox to buy all their properties out, they were in the process of doing it. They were trying to buy Fox Sports, but that ended up going to the Supreme Court in whatever district they were in, because if they would have bought Fox Sports, it would have been considered monopoly and illegal. So my question now is like, well, what's the limit here? Because with everything that Paramount is now going to own under their umbrella, it's
everything.
It's like 30 different brands.
It's everything besides Disney and Netflix. It's all everything
all
else.
shit.
Yeah.
Everything is shit
Not
and watered
Sony.
down.
Who owns Sony?
Sony. Sony's still out on their own.
Okay,
little-
but what does Sony put out nowadays besides Venom?
I mean, their music, their
PlayStation,
PlayStation,
No,
but
I mean,
their music, their
media wise.
Well, they have like they.
Universal.
Oh yeah, I forget.
they own Universal?
Yeah, Sony and Universal.
Yeah.
because Drake drops under Sony when it's like the big.
So
like the
their
big
music
ones.
label's their biggest thing, but they have movie productions under them, obviously. But but Sony's still out there on their own. Warner Brothers is now under Paramount.
You see
And
the
Discovery.
police. Warner brother.
So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. It's just mildly, how do you define a monopoly these days? It's
You flip the board and start again.
well, that's what's gonna have to happen, buddy. That's
Yep.
what's gonna have to fucking happen.
I know A24 picked up Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with that.
The guy's gonna be wearing an Israeli flag.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But did you see the trailer they put out? The little teaser for Backrooms.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It looks fucking weird though. Have you seen that?
Do you know what the Backrooms is? So is this internet? I forget the guy that created it, but it's this internet like it's adjacent to creepypasta, and it's basically like okay. Do you know liminal spaces?
No.
Okay,
I'll
look it up
show
real quick.
you.
So it's basically this like I'm not super deep into the lore, but it's basically this. The back rooms are these places that are very liminal, and they are. It's like. Have you ever tried to remember a dream the morning after, and it's kind of jumbled and it's weird?
Absolutely.
It's that, but a place, and it's where people like get lost and weird creatures live.
liminal spaces. These are what the back rooms. So it's like weird rooms that you see in your dreams.
They have them, and they have actual ones.
No,
No, it's a
different dimension, right?
it's like a dimension. It's a again creepypasta adjacent that was created on the internet. A indie video game came out of it, but there's a bunch of internet lore behind it, and there's videos about it in all these weird places. But this 20-year-old that like got super inspired. Like, he must have been 18 at the time.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name. Watched the original videos on YouTube, got super inspired, and just tried to figure out how to made his own thing. And then he pitched that to A24, and A24 was like, all right, let's see what happens. And they threw him like I think $3 million, to do it.
Yeah.
And they
Video
released
game?
no movie.
Okay.
A movie.
I mean,
and
think about with the it's the same. A24 is a blessing to media, you know, since
Yeah.
they came into it to movies. Because think about they did the same thing with the brothers that made Talk to Me, the Australian
Yep.
brothers. What were their name? Russos, maybe.
no, the Russos are the Avengers
Yeah, I know.
guys.
It's with an R. Or something
Yeah,
like
I forget
that.
their name, but they were based out of like Sweden, right, or some shit
No,
like that.
Australia.
Australia.
Like
Australia.
What is it called? Queensland, whatever in Australia. Yeah, they same thing. They had an idea for like a crazy run of movies, and they went to A24, pitched it, and yeah, they gave them like $3 million or something, and now they've made like 4 or 5 really, really good scary movies.
No, with A24, they've made 2.
2? Okay.
They've made 2. They've made Talk to Me and Bring Her Back.
Fire.
Personally, not for me, but people love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't grab me personally.
I mean, you like Justice League.
No, so yeah, I do have better taste, but people love them. Like people fucking love those movies. And I mean, did you watch Bring Her Back?
No, I've never.
Very like I knew what it was gonna be like a third of the way into it. It's a interesting way of doing a possession thing.
It's sketchy.
But it's so like I'll give them credit for this. The acting is pretty decent, but the fucking gore effects, they're all practical, and the way that they execute some of the things in there is fucking it's disgusting.
I'm not
Yeah,
a big,
ugh.
that's not like my. It's not that like I could see it. It's just it always feels so fake to me and over the top that I'm not a big gore guy.
You need
Okay.
to show him. I'll show him when we go back to my house. I'll show him.
I like when first Paranormal Activity came out.
Dude. Okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'll
horror.
shut about what I was about to say. The Paranormal Activity movies are all good, and if you watch them in the
No.
way, dude, yes,
All of them?
Watch them the way that they're meant to be watched in the actual, not in the release order. Watch them in the chronological order.
The Ghost Dimension, buddy.
Yes, bro, I like it. I mean, because what else? So for me, and I've talked to him about this too with movies with me, I think I'm a little less harsh than a lot of people are. Because so with Superman, when Superman came out, everyone was shitting on it, like shitty CGI. It looks fake. The fuck is it supposed to look like, bro? We don't know what a motherfucker flying through the city in a suit is supposed to
Well,
look
in all
like.
fairness, that looked pretty great.
Fuck that fool. And so, bro, they all looked good, bro. Even I can't think of. I mean, Black Adam was horrible. That was horrible
travesty.
CGI. I mean, when you can tell something's clearly a cartoon, then it kind of gets horrible.
The demon they had at the end was bad.
Yeah, but what else? So what else are you supposed to do? So with the Paranormal Activity movies, I look at it like that. Like, that's not going to really happen.
well, I just
That
didn't.
first one was a game changer, though.
The first
Yeah.
one was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
The first one is like a legitimately good
No,
movie.
the-
I remember
great
being in
movie.
the theaters and hearing people fucking.
The second
Yeah.
one was
Scream.
second and third one are okay, but just for me, it just got boring for me. Personally, it just got boring.
and so I feel like
like
if
the
you,
first Saw, it just got redundant after a while.
See, but Saw, the difference with that for me is Saw leaned into how stupid it is. and
sure.
then kind of just like
Just
push
like
the,
Scream has in the
But not
last.
the first one. The first one wasn't meant to be. That was
No,
like, true
the first Saw
fucking
is one
people
of
up.
the best horror movies ever made, and I'll stand on that. Like it is one of the best horror movies. Like the twist at the end with him being
Yeah,
alive,
for sure.
and just,
No, it's good. But back to like Paranormal Activity. What's the one where they're in L.A. and it's? I think they're all in L.A. But the one
with the
where-
Mexicans.
Yes, that one's scary. That one, like with the Bruja witch or whatever, and like they had the kids dead in the one next door.
For
and
me, the only good part of that movie is at the very end when the fucking like the cousin or whatever's got the shotgun. And he's
Yeah.
just running through.
yeah, dude, no, it's sick. I mean, that's why I feel like you got to look into it different when you watch those. And next time you do it, sit down with Danielle and watch them because the very last one is technically the first one.
Right.
It's about when the girls are kids, like how the grandma marries her off into the ghost that possesses them in the first movie. So it's about them when they're kids and shit like that. And yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. You just go through all of them and it's crazy. And then the one with the Mexicans is like kind of like a standalone kind of because it really doesn't have anything. But they all connect to that one chick because she ends up. There's only one movie that's after the first one. The rest of them are all before.
Interesting.
So they kind of went back on them. I don't know. I love Paranormal Activities.
Well, I mean that is the benefit of a lot of franchises trying to do the interconnected universes. Is if they hit for some people and they hit really well. I'd be open to trying it again. I just got so boring after a while. That was just like, eh.
No, but so what's the? Oh, In a Violent Nature. Have you seen of that? You hate. I know you said you don't like gore, but that's a crazy movie. That's such a. And they're coming out with
It's
the
interesting.
second one.
I don't know why they're doing a second one because the
I
first
find them
one
cheesy.
The first
before.
one's good. What's interesting about that one is like it's basically Friday the 13th from the perspective of Jason.
Okay.
It's quite interesting.
That's what it was supposed to be. So they originally filmed the whole like movie and the script and everything for that, and then they got. I think someone pulled it right towards the end. Like they were gonna work with New Line or someone whoever owned Friday the 13th.
That sounds right.
And then at the end they were like, "Nah, never mind. You can't do it." So they kept everything and they just like edited it different. And they
basically just rewrote the script.
and they redid like shots of him walking where he doesn't have a hockey mask and shit. And it's just what is it? It's a potato sack in this one too, right?
Yeah, no, but they never filmed it when it was the Jason one.
Okay,
They just
so
wrote it.
Just wrote it.
Yeah,
and then
they
got
just wrote it,
okay.
but they had to rework the script because they were shopping it around. Because I want to say, who owns Friday the 13th? It's not New Line anymore.
Is it Blum?
No, I don't remember who owns it right now, but
Well, who's doing? Oh, Warner Bros. Owns it because they're doing Crystal Lake right now on HBO Max.
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. So
NBC.
Yeah. So
NBC.
there you go. So
NBC.
NBC owns it.
Same company.
Yeah. NBC owns it. That's right. Because they did. No, that was Texas Chainsaw. I forget. Anyway, it's pretty decent. It's interesting. And I like that it's quick too. It's like an hour and a half. It's real quick.
The scenes, the kill scenes, are like the most extreme you'll ever see. I mean, besides fucking art, but
Yeah. So what, so the paranormal stuff kind of gets to you? Is that
No, it
what?
doesn't.
Or like stuff does it for you? Like that's what's entertaining?
I like that. I like the paranormal stuff. I like the alien stuff. I like space stuff. I love space.
Have you seen Event
But
Horizon?
I like a good drama.
Okay.
so in India, what do they call the genies?
Genies.
Yeah. No, there's there's I don't know, maybe it's just maybe deeper Indian culture, but there's a movie about I'll have to look it up. It would be stupid if I even try to explain it right now, but it's a scary movie and it's about an Indian genie.
Oh, true. No, I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about.
And he's in this house the whole time, trying to kill this little kid and stuff like that. And it's yeah, I don't know, but they have a certain name for him. Have you guys ever seen American Gods, the show? Mm-mm. It was on Stars. It's really good, and it's just about how every god is real. That they just all cater to their certain culture. And this guy goes to the afterlife and dies, but then comes back, and he's able to be in the world.
Is it called
of these-
Dijin?
Dijin? That's what they're called. That's a?
I don't know. Never.
It's a jinn. That's what they call them. They call them jinns. It's not.
That's it. I know that's an Asian culture.
I swear it's the one that I'm talking about is an Indian genie.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that, so I have no idea. So, yeah, have you seen Event Horizon?
I feel like I know.
It's with Lawrence Fishburne in the 90s.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's interesting. I feel like I need to rewatch it again because when I did watch it, it just didn't really hit for me properly. But everyone fucking glazes that movie because they go to the portal to hell in their spaceship, and they basically come in contact with Lovecraftian gods.
Okay.
And it
No,
starts
I'm thinking of something else.
and so it's tearing them apart from inside their mind.
Okay.
That one's kind of interesting. But if you want to, on the topic of what we were talking about earlier, if you want a really good drama, dude, fucking Spotlight. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Have you seen that?
No.
It's with Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, and did you watch Mad Men?
Yeah.
The guy with the white hair.
Okay.
So it's a true story. It's about a small newspaper in Boston in the late 80s, early 90s, and they're basically working to investigate and expose the Catholic Church for all the pedophilic crimes. And it is it's in my top 5 like best movies of all time.
Okay.
It is like there's a great scene where
They're on
because
Epstein Island? It's your favorite part?
yeah. Oh yeah. Or Michael Keaton, he's like the head publisher of the newspaper, and they're in his office talking about like, well, we've got a couple of priests, we have more to go after. Like, do we do it now or do we wait till we have the bigger story? And Mark Ruffalo just like loses it and he yells like, "It's fucking time!" And he's like making his case about why they have to expose them now. It's so good.
Okay.
Dude, that's the secrets in like. So, if you've been to Italy, you guys not
No, never.
not trying to flex or
One day.
anything, but so
Low-key
when
flex.
so when I went to the Vatican, it was cool to go in there, and it was like obviously I grew up Catholic, and like it was kind of like surreal, and it felt cool to go into the Sistine Chapel, and at the time when we went, the Pope was doing a prayer like out on the thing, so we got to like do like a kind of like cool prayer in there, whatever. I don't really believe in that stuff, but
Do you believe in the stuff underneath the Vatican?
well,
Stuff they're hiding?
Yeah,
Secret
no,
archive?
so that's what I'm saying. So like, it didn't feel holy in there at all. Like my girlfriend was like, "Oh, this is awesome," and then I started explaining to everything and like every artifact in there. Fucking Catholics, what is our artifact is the Bible. What are we doing? What are they doing with mummies and tombs from like all this shit that they stole and like all the Crusaders and like I was explaining all that to her like this mummy right here. Women and children probably died to get that mummy back to the Vatican, and she didn't realize all that. She's like, they just stole all this stuff, and I was like,
Everything is stolen.
stolen. Yeah,
The whole British Empire is built on.
yeah,
thievery.
like and it just felt evil in there. Like it felt like it didn't feel right, bro. It didn't feel like it was like it was holy in there. And then you're looking at these, and because like I'm maybe like 2 months before we went out to Europe.
But they're looking at you like, look at all these holies. Look at all these available holes.
Oh my fucking god, dude! That's what yeah, dude. I wasn't an altar boy when I was a little kid. I was an altar toy. I have this joke where I'm like, my hair always used to, if you look like when I was a kid, my grandpa used to love to give me the middle part. And so I was like, yeah, like when my girlfriend, when I was talking to her, I was like, she was like, why did you? I was like, it's because I was always on my knees and the priests were saying good boy, spreading fucking.
You're a human fleshlight.
Yeah, dude,
It's
but
a different thing when they said follow the light.
the light at the end of the
Yeah,
tunnel.
they
but-
meant fuck AJ.
No, but yeah, you just go in there and it's just not, and you just like, and you're thinking about, and like I said, like 2 months before we went out there, that Vatican documentary came out, the one on Netflix about the girl, the one that disappeared. Watch it. It's really good on Netflix. It's like, it'll be like how your movie was, like the movie. I've seen what you're talking about. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's kind of like the same thing, but it's like when it was really happening. Like, and when they were going after the Vatican and there was a girl that disappeared. You know who I'm talking about? There was like, it was some little girl that was like, I don't know. You'll have to.
She disappeared in the Vatican?
Yeah, disappeared inside the Vatican. They went to the Vatican for a trip.
And they never saw a video of her leave?
Nope. There's no video of her leaving. There's her walking into a certain place, and that's the mystery of.
There's a really weird story like that in New York about the lady that got fucking. She went to this. It was like some hotel in New York.
It's L.A. and it's the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah, Cecil
I know
Hotel
exactly
in LA.
what
You know
you're
what I'm talking about? You heard about this? So
It's downtown.
So basically, what happened is it was like in the 90s, right?
No, it was like 2010.
Was it recent?
It's the Asian lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this lady, there's video camera footage of her showing up to the Cecil Hotel. A day later, she's like running in the hallways. She yelled at a couple of workers, just like incoherent blabber nonsense.
Yeah.
Then they don't see her for 3 days. Then she ends up in like the garbage chute, right?
Well, no,
the water tank.
Yeah,
The water tank.
The
I saw
water bro.
that.
But it's crazy when you watch the footage. She's like fucking possessed, bro. She's
Yeah.
standing in the elevator, just
Yep.
like standing there, and people are like trying, and she's just like
Yep.
just blank face, and then she goes up that elevator, walks, and then she's never seen again.
Yeah, that's the weird one.
But it's because at one point it looks, isn't there video footage of her like she's like running from something, scared to get to the elevator, and there's nothing.
And there's hallway footage.
Yeah, there's
there is hallway
nothing.
footage of
There's
that.
nothing chasing her, but she's like running for her fucking
Probably on meth
life.
or some shit, man.
But how do you end up in the
Well, no, because
water?
they did the autopsy. No alcohol, no drugs. They don't even think she died of drowning. The autopsy.
Damn.
That's like that kid at that school, that Kendrick kid that you'll see it come up on like on Twitter and shit, where he like they found him rolled up in the mats.
What?
Some black kid, and he was like, yeah, there's like a whole story. Well, after we get off the pod, we'll look. I'll send it to you. But yeah, like it's like a whole like crazy story like that. And there's no one in the footage. They have footage of the whole high school, and it's him by himself, like running away from something. And then all of a sudden, they can't find him, and he's just shoved in this mat, rolled up, feet head first.
We need an American Da Vinci Code.
Dude, right? Those are so good. I fucking love the Da Vinci Code movies, bro. I love Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons.
It's like
and
a
Inferno.
starter conspiracies.
Does Canada
That's
have
what
any?
started me into everything, dude. Was when I started.
You only moved to the U.S. a year and a half ago, right? Does Canada have any like weird shit that Americans don't know about?
I mean, I'm sure Canada's hiding a bunch of shit. It was like what you guys did to, same thing that you guys did to the indigenous. We did the same thing.
Oh, yeah. What,
They're-
under the-
They're buried all under the churches.
There you go, yeah.
And like, they were kidnapping the kids. Even right now, there's an issue in Canada. Indigenous women are going missing.
It's the same here.
Along the Trans-Canada
Oh,
Highway.
yeah.
They're just,
Well, dude,
and
up
no
in-
one's looking into it. And
More
they're just,
more indigenous people go missing in the United States a year than any other race.
Well, I remember
people.
learning in college we were reading a Cormac McCarthy novel. I forget which one it was, but we were talking about native law, and up until like 2011, 2012, so like American citizen, right? You could I don't remember if it was all native reservations or like some of them, but at least in New Mexico, in theory, like according to law, in theory, you could make your way on a native land, rape a woman, and then as long as you got off the land before the native cops got to you, American police did not have to do anything about it. It was like, they just be like, oh, okay, that shit sucks.
for sure. Yeah, there's like there was that school in Canada that they closed. It was like in Montreal, right? Something like a few years ago that they closed down because they found like someone was like a whistleblower and like, yeah, they had been burying native kids here for not anytime recently, but how many
even in the last 100 years, that's recent enough.
yeah, how many they found,
yeah.
bro, they found like hundreds of fucking of bones and shit under this school that they would just kill the little kids. Those, if you watch 1923,
The show, no.
yeah, so Yellowstone's good. It's crazy. It's fucking cowboy mafia and shit. But when you watch what Trevor Sheridan, is that his last name? Whatever.
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan, the way he made those movies, those shows, those were supposed to like show what it was really like. So there's like 19 whatever where they
It was 1883, right?
1883 they do the Oregon Trail. Then there's 1923
I think
or something,
so.
and that's when they're already established, and that's when they were like the Killers of the Flower Moon shit was happening when they were taking over Oklahoma and all these places, and they were trying to marry out the native women so that they could get the land and shit like that. But they show these schools, these missions, and how the nuns would rape girls and shit like that, and like they would do it to these native girls, and they would kill them and they would fucking bury them. And there's one chick that goes crazy and she kills all the nuns in the school and escapes, and then like ends up being able to get away with it and like live peacefully and shit like that.
How peacefully do you live after that? Holy fuck.
True, yeah.
But is there any like, because obviously there's stuff like that, but like crazy
yeah.
shit, like conspiracy about the government.
You guys know in those emails that, you know how they say COVID started in Wuhan?
Yeah.
There's actually a lab in Winnipeg that is a COVID-19 lab, and there's emails from Fauci talking to people in Canada at the lab discussing bringing COVID-19. It's a whole fucking...
So were they
Canada
doing,
was a big part of it.
So were they
it's
doing
like testing ground for America. It's like they test stuff on us, and then they're like, if it'll work there, they know how to work it on
So I
America.
completely agree with that when it comes to the gun laws.
everything.
110%.
Everything.
I just don't know a lot about Canada. And the only thing I really do know about Canada, like negatively speaking, is the gun laws because of Trudeau when he was in power. So were they doing gain of function research at the coronavirus lab?
Yeah.
In Canada?
Yeah.
No shit.
And it's
Makes
in the-
more
it's-
sense that it got here from Canada than fucking China,
it's
right?
in the emails.
No shit. Huh. What the? I didn't know about that. I have to look
A
into
year
that.
before the pandemic, Bill Gates and Epstein talking about the pandemic and the response and getting WHO and the World Health Organization and what's the other one involved?
The World Economic
CDC.
Forum.
Yes.
CCD.
In the CDC. Interesting. Well, because there was that what's it called? That TED talk that Bill Gates gave in like 2014 or 2015,
Talking about the
like
fucking
the response to a global
Yeah.
pandemic and what it would look like and shit like that. Yeah, I
You
don't
know it's
man.
bad when that guy's making a video apologizing. You know some shit's about to start coming out.
Well, you see how
That's
he.
why the war is. That's why they fucking bombed Iran.
Did you see that he came out and had to apologize about the Russian hookers?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So for him doing, and it's crazy that even his wife, or his ex, right, or is it his wife now?
Well, they're divorced
that's
now.
doing the interviews, and she's like,
She divorced him because of that Epstein shit when she
Yeah.
found out about it.
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh yeah.
shit.
So when the Epstein stuff started coming out in 2019 is when they got separated and she filed for divorce. And now when she's giving the interviews when they bring up all the Epstein stuff, she's not like they asked specifically about like the medicine and the Russian prostitutes,
Yeah.
and she wasn't saying no. All she was saying is there was a dark part of my life that I don't want to revisit.
Exactly.
I'm healed now. She goes, I'm lucky I wasn't one of those girls. I've healed now, and I hope they find the same healing that I did.
Yeah, she's not saying no. Yeah, it's some nasty shit, dude. I don't know.
China's had a backdoor, and Israel has had a backdoor into Windows programming since the beginning. They've
Oh, I'm not
been
surprised
watching
about
our
that at
shit.
all. Oh, I'm not surprised about that at
That's
all.
why I don't give a fuck about like. And when I met my girlfriend, when I first met her, we're fucking whatever. We're doing all this. We're fucking, and she has her laptop, and she has the fucking camera taped.
Oh yeah.
Rip that shit off. I said, don't be fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you carry a phone in your fucking pocket. You fucking listen to an iPod. You know, you're on the computer anyways, and you're gonna. Are you like? Don't come on. That pissed me off, bro. And then when people were getting pissed about the Ring cameras, like being able to do recognition, like the outside ones, being able to do recognition on missing pets and missing people, and what do you think they've been doing? You have a fucking computer in your house. You
Just
have
telling us now.
No,
Yeah,
have you seen the new addition to the Xfinity Wi-Fi?
No.
That's in their agreement now.
What does it say?
It's that little white modem router combination that I have out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, what those modems can do now is they send out some. So if you buy, I think you have to. I don't know if it does it natively or you have to have the security package with it to activate it. It's
Yeah.
one of those two. But let's assume that you have because they have their own version of Ring, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it. I have Xfinity's my.
So this applies to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're
So
everything. All my
See how
cameras
his
in my
voice-
house and
his
everything.
voice got all high. He's like,
Yeah.
So basically, what it is from the router, it sends off radio frequencies that detects what the general motion is like in your home when you're home, when the normal members of your household are there.
For sure.
They can detect when you're there, and then they send out radio frequencies when you're gone, so what the empty space of a home feels like. And then it monitors the general times during the day of when you are home, when you're not home. So it creates a pattern. So then if someone breaks into your home, that's how it's another way of how it sends out a response to the
Well,
police.
good.
Okay, sick, but it's also detecting the patterns of your home and where is it sending that to? It's all that kind of
But
creepy
who cares? In the end, like, what's going to happen? I mean, we're all fucked anyway, so who gives a fuck if that's happening or not? We're putting our lives out on a podcast you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is very true.
This is not, I don't give a, like, that shit pissed me off. People are like, if you're not ripping your Ring doorbell off right now, what are you doing? I'm fucking chilling. Don't care, bro. Good.
But that's the general consensus. Everyone says, I'm not doing anything. They could watch me. What are they going to do? What are they getting from me? Or nobody's looking at me because I'm not doing anything.
True.
But if everybody conforms, then they're watching everybody.
Right.
And now,
With the sick and evil people in the world, like Columbine shooters and shit, you don't want them to be watching everyone.
but it's also not only that, but then you're also giving them the credit that they're this holy being
For sure.
watching
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, for sure.
They're also
Eagle eye,
They're also
eagle eye,
looking
yeah.
at how many kids are staying home alone, which houses we can take these kids from.
Yeah.
See, I don't fucking go that far into it and start, but that's
But it
crazy.
goes this complete
Yeah,
both
for
ends.
sure.
Infinity. It's like infinity. Infinity is, if you think about it, it's one of the biggest things you can ever imagine. But it can also be the smallest thing you've ever imagined. Almost nothing. Infinity can go down to zero, but not quite zero. Do you know what I mean? As above, so below. As good as something can be, there can be something that's just as horrible.
Yeah.
So when you have one of those thoughts that you're like, oh, my government's protecting me, you gotta.
They can also be.
And they are. Or if our government truly cared about us, we wouldn't be able to get McDonald's meals for $5 and have to eat.
When
a
did you get a
healthy meal.
McDonald's meal for $5?
or whatever? You know what I mean?
No, but
like
you wouldn't
Yeah, I
be
get
able.
what you're saying. I
You
get
wouldn't
what
be
you're
able to bang your knee or stub your toe and get addicted to fucking oxycodone
yes,
and die.
if your government.
Yeah,
loved you.
yeah.
But what did they told us? That's why you guys have the Second Amendment. They're like, in no perfect world will any government care about you like that.
No.
You always got to be on your 10 toes down. You know.
It was from Benjamin Franklin. When you sacrifice liberty for security, you have neither and deserve neither.
Well, that fool was crazy though. All the bones and shit that they found on that fool's fucking thing.
But he
that
was
doing
right.
experiments on people and shit.
what-
No, I know.
He was right. Like when they asked him some fucking, it's a alleged quote, right? Of when after they signed the Declaration of Independence and then they codify the Constitution, they asked him, like, what does this mean? And what did you give the country? Right? What did you give the people? And he said, a republic if you can keep it. And that's when it's getting tested.
We're getting pretty close to seeing if we can keep it, boys.
Yeah.
Every great empire has fallen eventually. Nothing less stays up forever.
Well, and don't they say that nothing's like no huge like don't they all start falling apart after 200-300 years? Isn't there like a
Well, there's nothing ever been like what America is.
Yeah,
There's-
for sure.
This freedom thing that we're talking about, as sick as it is, and we're fighting for it, it's very limited in this world.
Well, I mean, and
And it has been for a long time. No one has been able to kind of just
for sure.
do what the fuck they want, say what the fuck
Well,
they
look
want.
at what the three of us want to do for the rest of our lives permanently. Stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is a uniquely Western thing. How many stand-up comedians do you have in North Korea?
Now it's
or
starting.
China?
It's starting to spread now, just like how hip hop. There's rap in every fucking country you can imagine.
Right.
The internet has spread everything everywhere. But you're right. Where do its origins begin?
Yeah. You're not going to have this in 1940s Nazi Germany, right? There's not going to be a stand-up comedian that's like this Hitler guy. Like you're not going to have that. But
sure.
but then even so, you have.
I mean, they probably did though. There might have been. You
think so?
Might have been popped in the head.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why we don't know about him. We only know what we're told, right?
Very true. But you even look at.
And to say that laughter and comedy, that we're the first one, like performance art has been.
Well,
going
no,
on,
we're not the first to do
Gestures.
it.
But we're the first to like make it a thing.
Yes.
But I'm sure it's been happening.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so I agree with that. So I agree. No, 110%. But even the beginnings of American like Western stand-up comedy, you have Lenny Bruce getting arrested. You have George Carlin getting arrested.
Yeah.
Because of just things that they're saying that
sure.
apparently you can't say on TV, or you can't say in public in Lenny Bruce's case. But it's why we have it. And I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I really don't know.
World's crazy.
I do get worried.
Nitty's
sometimes.
in town headlining.
What I wanted to ask you though, because I know we've been talking about just general topics. One thing I want to ask about you and you doing stand up. So when did you start stand up in Canada?
I started when I was 19, so
Okay,
almost 16 years ago.
okay.
15 and a half.
So 2010, you started stand up comedy. Why did you start in the first place?
I dropped out of school, and it's something I always wanted to do.
High school or college?
College,
Okay.
university.
Degrassi.
Yeah, no, I was at this University of Waterloo, but I dropped out. But before that, I was in high school, and me and my friend we talked about trying comedy, and the only thing I ever knew about stand-up comedy was Yuck Yucks. So we Googled it, and it said you had to be 19 plus to get in the club. So I put that dream on the shelf. I just thought, oh, it's not for me. Yeah. And then I started. I went to university, and my whole life people were like, "Oh, you should try stand-up," and I was like, I just dismissed it. And then I dropped out, and I got a job at this bank. And I was the youngest. I was 19. I was the youngest kid there. And
Were
I
you
was
like a bank teller? Or?
I was working in disputes, credit card disputes.
Oh, okay.
And I had my cubicle, and I was the youngest kid there. Everybody had families or college students or whatever, and I would just roast everybody all day. I would just stand up, not work, and just make fun of everybody. And then people were like, "Yo, you should try stand up." And because I had nothing going on, I dropped out of school. My parents hated me. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I started going to watch open mics, and I would go every Tuesday to the Yucks open mic. And after I went 4 weeks in a row, the booker there was like, "Yo, I see you every Tuesday." He's like, "Are you trying to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just don't understand the process or whatever." He's like, "You're supposed to call in every week, and then we drop the list every Tuesday. You call back, the list is listed." But he goes, "Just come next week, and I'll make sure you're on." And then I had a week to prepare for my first set. and then I invited everybody I knew.
Hell yeah, you do.
I invited everybody,
Yeah.
and it was one of the best sets I ever had in my life. And I think I'm still chasing that dragon. You know, I don't think I've ever crushed that hard again.
You got the heroin early.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
who were you watching at the time? Like bigger stand-ups. Like, who were you watching?
So
at
that's the
time?
thing. I was never really a stand-up comedy guy. I never watched. Russell was the first full special I ever watched when that dropped on YouTube.
Okay.
The Somebody Gonna Get Hurt Real Bad.
I personally feel like fools that are like, just like especially in our generation, we didn't have like huge because you're a little older than us, but we're still like in the same like we all still grew up with the same shit. I don't believe when someone's like, I've been watching Eddie Murphy since I was 14 or something like
No, I never. It was ahead of my time. So when I was growing up, I never watched Raw, Delirious. I never seen any of those.
Same,
To
yeah.
this day, I've never watched any of those full back to back.
Okay.
I've seen clips of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not a big comedy fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Really?
seek out comedy.
Same.
I love doing it. It's my favorite thing in the world. But I'd rather do a million things other than watch comedy.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll tell you some shit whenever we're done with the pod.
That's
like, about-
interesting. Well, because I disagree with you completely. Because I've been a huge fan of stand-up since I was like probably 11.
Okay, so you could look at me because I've seen shit. When I was a kid, I saw my mom would put on Dane Cook's fucking thing, or my dad would put on Latin Kings of Comedy if it was on comedy. It was on. But you're telling me you were sitting down the
Yeah.
way you like fucking movies and
Yeah.
the way you like. Okay, then you might be an outlier.
Yeah,
but
because I remember when I was
There's a lot of people like that.
like when I was
I don't fucking believe
like when
it
I was
is.
when I was a little kid, I had
performative.
I had my Xbox 360 and I had a little 19-inch TV, and I remember this is like when Netflix first started doing streaming.
Yeah.
Because like I would watch like at my aunt and uncle's house in California, like they had like the movie channels, so like I would randomly like see like a Dane Cook special be
Yeah.
on there, or like I didn't watch Eddie Murphy like Raw or Delirious until I was like in college, or I'm just now getting in like actually getting into Richard Pryor, like literally like this year, like in the last year to this year, I'm getting into Richard Pryor, but like I would randomly catch stand-up specials on like the movie channels, but when we had it wasn't cable, it was like the below cable, whatever. digital, like where it had like it's still like Comedy Central.
Yeah.
On that I would watch the roast, and that blew my mind.
The roast I always love to
like
watch too,
seeing
yeah.
like early Nikki Glazer,
Yeah.
Greg Giraldo,
What's the main
Lisa
fool?
Lampanelli, Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross, yeah.
Like seeing like those lineup of guys when I was in like middle school, I was like, oh fuck, this is hilarious. And then on the Netflix is when they started putting out like Fluffy had his specials on there. There were early Tom Segura specials on there.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, Bill Burr. Bill Burr was huge for me.
You guys are how old? 26?
I'm 28. He's
28.
You're 22, right? Yeah.
So I'm 35. So like I didn't have access to it like that. There was no streaming services when I was
Yeah.
a kid to just watch stand up.
Right.
You had to seek it out. And my parents were immigrant parents. They never.
Right.
There was no comedy specials in the house. They weren't showing me comedians I should know.
Right.
Everything was whatever I learned from my friends. I lived in the hood, so I just fucking listened to rap music and
For
thought
sure. That makes perfect sense.
all rock music was heavy metal. You know what I mean? Like
What heavy metal were you listening to?
I wasn't. I thought all.
Oh,
rock,
you thought-
I thought
oh,
all
okay.
white music was heavy metal.
Oh, okay, so you're
I didn't
saying-
give anything a chance. I didn't start listening to classic rock until I started doing mushrooms and doing comedy.
So it's funny. So like, so you say you're sitting down, you're watching all that on
Yeah,
your
for
Xbox.
sure.
When did you lose your virginity?
18.
Yeah, see, I lost my virginity when I was 12, so I was fucking. I wasn't watching.
I was 14.
I wasn't watching. I wasn't trying to watch comedy specials. I was trying to get pussy, bro. That's all I cared about, and smoke some weed, dude. So we definitely just grew up different, I guess, too. You know. But when I see like, for me, I know you're not, because you're a fucking like a nice guy, and you don't lie about shit and stuff. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
I just feel like when some people say it, they're performative as fuck, and they just want.
Well, you'll
say it
definitely
just
have
to-
those. Like I first saw Richard Pryor, and I just thought, like that's
This is
kind of
what
weird.
I'm gonna do, and then
Unless it's true, it's kind of weird.
yeah.
Kind of weird.
I kind of fell into it. You know, there was
Yeah.
no like calling. It was just it just happened.
Same. I think it happened the same way for all three of us.
So you're doing stand up for well over 10 years in Canada.
Like 14 years, 14 and a half.
Okay, 14 and a half years in Canada. Why? So it's obvious why you would move to the United States to do stand up, but I guess my question would be like, why? Yeah, like why did you wait 14 years to move to LA or New York?
There's no real industry in Canada, so you got to get out.
Right.
But to come work in America, you need an American visa.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And
Is did the process hold you up?
Yes, so it's a very expensive process.
Yeah.
A lot of paperwork. You need like references from all over the country from different bookers. You need television credits. You need to prove that you are an extraordinary talent.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
proving the paperwork. Like, hey, I'm gonna go to America, be a stand-up comedian. They're like, oh yeah.
So it's literally called an O1 extraordinary talent visa. That's what it is. So you have to prove that have a specific talent, and it's almost 15 grand Canadian, so like 10 grand American, because you have to get a lawyer to do it. So it was just something I was like, yo, I don't think I'm ever gonna have the funds to do this.
For sure.
And then around 13, 14 years into it, you know, life was a little different. I had a little bit of money. I started putting money towards getting a lawyer. I started going through the process.
Good for you.
But the money kept adding up. I needed PR. I didn't have enough media stuff. I didn't have enough newspaper stuff, or I needed more advertising to prove all this stuff. And the bill kept adding up. And I had only given like a couple $100 deposit at this point to start the process. And I actually scrapped it. I canceled the lawyer because I was like, yo, honestly, I'm just going to get, and it's all for a chance, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I just didn't feel confident, and I scrapped it, and I kind of gave up on that dream. And then randomly, a week and a half after that, I got signed to this management company, and they paid for everything. They did it all. All I had to do was hand over my passport, and their lawyers took care of everything.
shit.
I didn't have to go get a lawyer. I didn't have to spend $1. I didn't have to go get a letter. I didn't have to contact
what
anybody.
management company was this?
Comedy Records. It's my.
Oh
my
yeah.
current
Okay.
management.
No
And
shit.
that's why you're
And-
gonna be fucking headlining Toronto, dude.
Yeah,
Because
and-
shit like that doesn't just happen to people where it's not supposed. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's-
mean?
it was fucking cool.
How did they find you?
They're just a Toronto-based company. They've been around
Right,
since
but
I started.
Did they see you at like a couple of shows?
Well, so they've been around since I started,
Okay.
but they've always been a smaller company. I've been wanting to work with them for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've reached out. They just never got back to me. I always thought they didn't have any interest in me. But then as I joined the company and I talked to the guy, my manager, Barry, he's the owner and all of it, he said, I've always fucked with you. It's just, it's always been just me. And I didn't want to take people on and not be able to offer them anything. And now, 15 years later into his company, he's like, I'm at a point now where like, hey, I work with this immigration company. It's like, I will, in exchange for my next album, which I did, my last album, they gave me my visa. So they hold the rights to my last album. And in exchange, I got my visa.
But they gave you the keys.
Yes. And now, and since I came over here in my life, like more has happened for me in a year and a half in America than 14 years in Canada.
So, and my question too is, so at the point that you come to the United States a year and a half ago, so you've already done your first album.
I've done 3 albums.
You've done 3 albums.
I did my 3rd album for them.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you on, like, what's your internet presence like? What's your social media presence like?
It's okay. It's growing. When I moved out here, I was at 12,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
Right now, a year and a half later, I'm at 30.5.
So you get to LA. Because I'm genuinely curious about that. I mean, I didn't even know about the immigration stuff. That's fucking fast. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That's fucking fast. That's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that's
very cool.
incredible. So you come to the United States. Why did you
So I was going to move to New York. That was my plan. I actually
Yeah.
had a place set up. I've been going to New York every couple months to, just have a presence there and kind of build. And I've been doing that for a year leading up to the...
What was that like? So you're able to visit New York. Are you
I would always lie and go over and be like, I'm just visiting, and then go do comedy.
Right.
Low-key.
So-
I don't know if you should post that or not, but...
are you going to like the clubs? Are you going to
I was going everywhere because
Okay.
there's a bunch of Toronto comics in New York.
Interesting. That makes sense.
So, and they're doing big things. So I had a base there. So I had people I can connect with and feel safe with. So that's why I chose New York, because it's the natural progression. It's like, it's a bigger Toronto where you can go do 20 sets a night, fucking
Right.
get your grind on, get good. And that's where I was going to move. But there's this podcast in LA called the We Don't Smoke the Same podcast that's existed for 10 years. I met the guys in Toronto pre-pandemic, and we just became friends.
Okay.
And then every time I would go to LA, I would just go do their pod and visit. And we became friends, me and the host. And when I was maybe like 3 weeks before I was actually going to move out, I just called him. I was like, I should let this guy know I'm going to be in America so I can come do his pod. So I called him and I was like, yo, I just got my visa. I'm moving to New York so I can come do your pod whenever you want. And without skipping a beat, he was like, fuck New York. Come to LA and be my co-host. Like, he had just found out, like, he didn't even think about it. He just threw me that offer. And I'm a big believer in go where you're wanted.
Yeah.
And there was nothing calling me to New York. It was just me choosing that as my destination. So I pivoted and went to LA to be the co-host of the podcast.
And where is Comedy Records based out of?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so you go to LA, you become the co-host of this podcast. How soon does... Actually, I'm going to ask this question in a second. I'm going to grab my Zen. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
Unless you want to ask me anything, I'm going to grab my Zen real quick.
I'll talk shit about you when you leave.
When did he transition?
Like 6-7 months ago. That's fucking... Do they do... So does your management company strictly do Canadian artists?
No, they do. Everybody. They have some American artists too.
Okay, I might have to send them my stuff or
Yeah.
something like that. You know, I've been wanting to get under someone because like my girl helps me out a lot and stuff like that. But like, it's fucking hard to run your own
Yeah,
shit,
man.
especially now that like me and this fool we're getting booked all the time. Like we can realistically now. I mean, you can too. I'm sure it's been like that for a while, but we can book out our whole month easy.
Yeah,
Like, and
I
we
mean,
can-
it's not anymore since I moved to LA. It's a little harder. You know, my schedule's lighter than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So I want to get to that, actually. That's a very good question. I want to get to that here in a second. So you get out to LA, you're on this podcast. How soon after getting to LA does the Comedy Store become part of the equation?
So that was one of my goals, was to get in with the Comedy Store.
Did you know about the Comedy Store before LA?
Who doesn't know
Yeah.
about the Comedy Store?
Well, I'm just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just-
But that was like, if I'm gonna be in LA, I'm gonna try to get the Comedy Store. So before I even got my visa, I got a call in Toronto one day from the guy who ended up being my manager, saying, "Yo, there's this Indian comic coming to Toronto from LA. They want an Indian comic to come open for him. Can you come open for him?" And it was a big theater, 800 seater, 2 shows. And I was like, hell yeah, you know? And I went and I showed up, and it was Rene Vaca. And I get there, and I'm like, "Yo, you're Indian?" And he goes, "I'm Mexican, fool." And I'm like,
That's a great Rene
I'm like,
Vaca
this is the
impression.
only reason I got this gig, because they told me you're Indian. We laughed about it.
That's what I'm Mexican, fool.
And
This is
then
in Toronto?
this is in Toronto, because I had never seen his videos before.
It's
Yeah.
so funny how
he
they
was
say
blowing
he
up,
looks
but he wasn't. He
Indian.
hadn't peaked yet, right? And then I remember I did the show. He gave me 20 minutes right before him, and I remember coming off stage. And when I came off stage, his current road manager at the time, and his camera guy were all just standing there, and I was like, and they were like, "Yo, you're actually funny," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." They're like, "No, like we get local openers everywhere we go, and it's just usually trash. So like, what are you doing in Toronto?" And I explained my visa situation to them, and he was like, "That's fucked up." But he goes, "If you ever move to LA, you hit me up." So when I moved, that was the second phone call I made, was to Rene. And these Mexicans, bro, didn't skip a beat. He took me on the road with him for like 2 weeks. I started doing theaters. As soon as I moved to LA, I started doing theaters with him. And that lasted for like 2 weeks, because then he really started to blow up to the point where, like, he's still my dog. I saw him the other day, but like, he's at another stratosphere where he can't, like, I can't be everywhere. He can't do everything for me all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? So he helps me out when he can, you know, still puts me on shows and stuff. But that was a great introduction. So I got a little bit of notoriety. You skip a little steps when you get out there. Like, who is this guy? He's already on the road. He just moved here. He's on
Right.
the road. I'm doing this podcast. And then maybe 3 or 4 weeks into it, I get connected with Russell.
So before we get to Russell Peters, what I think is fucking beautiful about the story is I didn't know about the Rene Vaca thing, but there is something real too. Because again, I think they get a great point. When you get to LA and you're already doing the road, you're doing theaters with Rene Vaca. So who the fuck is this guy? Like, this guy just showed up, and I was like, who is this guy? Nobody knows that you've been doing stand up for well over a decade in a completely different country where there is really not a lot, if any, opportunity for doing stand up. But
In front of Latinos, he took me on the road, and the first show I did, 2,200 Mexican people. I've never performed in front of Latinos in my life, bro. For
sure.
It was a learning curve, you know?
Yeah.
But it became fun. It's some
But you've got over a decade of experience and just chipping at it, sharpening the sword, so that when you're able to go out and do those things, you had the moment. It took a while, but the moments finally came to you.
Yeah.
And you had
I
all
finally
of
got
this.
to fucking hit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you motherfuckers, you listen to this shit. If you guys watch this, because I know that the hating ass people that I've been telling you about that live out here watch this shit when me and this fool drop shit like this. If you are fucking funny, shit is gonna happen for you. If you're not funny, it's not gonna happen for you. And it's crazy how like
It
you
just takes time sometimes.
But no, and then
Patience,
but
know?
you get no, fuck them. They're not funny. You guys aren't funny. Sorry, that's why I was voted best. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, this fool like it makes sense, and you hear Nitty when he's telling us these stories that he gets off stage and they're like, you're actually funny, or you get off stage and Russell's like, dude, you're actually funny.
Yeah.
They don't know, like to what Noah's saying, that you have 15 fucking years behind it, and you fucking it shows when you do comedy.
What's funny about that Russell story? So 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month into it, I finally meet Russell, right? Because
Where do you meet him?
so at the Laugh Factory, because Russell is a Toronto comic,
Right.
But I've never really had an interaction with him in my 14 years. We've always missed each other. Whenever he's there, I'm never there. But all his boys that never blew up are my OGs in Toronto. You know what I'm saying?
Comedy's too small, dude.
So when
That's
I
crazy.
moved out here, there's a comic named Ron Jostle who came up with Russell, their boys, who's living in LA at the time, and he was showing me around my first couple weeks. And then one night we were eating dinner, and I was like, "Yo, I saw at the Laugh Factory Russell's gonna be here next week or whatever day." I'm like, "I've never met him. Can you introduce me to him?" And he looked at me like, "You've never met Russell?" And I was like, "No, man." He's like, "Okay, tomorrow or whatever the day is, we'll go." And he picked me up, and we went down there. And when we walked into the Laugh Factory, Russell was just finishing his set. He just walked off stage. And he comes off stage. We walk into the club, and he sees my boy immediately, and they embrace. And then my boy Ron goes to Russell. He goes, "Yo, this kid's Nitish. He's an Indian comic from Toronto. He's really funny." And then Russell looks at me and goes, "I think I've seen some of your videos online." And then he smokes me in the balls. And then he goes, and I go down, and he goes, "We're going to the Improv. Come."
Welcome to America.
And then I roll with this guy to the Improv, and then we just hang out all night. And then he does his set there, and there's like whenever Russell goes somewhere, he has like 20 guys, or there's so many people around that just come.
Entourage, Now, okay, I got a question about that. Just to get a little dorky about it. Is it like his homies, or is it like other comedians that he knows?
It's comedians and the most random famous people you don't even.
Yeah.
It's crazy the people I've met just being around this guy.
Real shit. I mean, it's not surprising at all.
It's just cool as fuck. So then he does a set, and then he asks me, he's like, "Yo, how's your first month or whatever been in LA?" And I'm like, "Pretty shit, I don't know anybody at the store. I'm just trying to get in places. Everyone's pretty standoffish to me."
And this is after you've already done theaters.
Yeah, because they're like, "Who are you?" And then you show up, and you're like, "Oh, I've been doing this for a long time, and
Right.
I'm not getting on any of the mics, but I'm around,
Right.
And then he's like, "Give me your phone." He takes my phone. He goes, and he gives me a weekend, 5 shows with him in Pleasanton, California, in the Bay. And I'm like, amazing, right away,
Yeah.
And then we go do the shows. He gives me 20 minutes on each show.
Had you done the Improv when you went to the Improv with him?
No, I just went to go hang out.
He just like, I know you got the
You're
voucher
here
with
with
homie.
Russ. Yeah, that's like my dog. If
Good
he says
shit.
so, then come.
Good shit.
Then I'm a Toronto Indian kid, and he's like, "Just come on the road with me. I'll help you a little bit." So I did those 5 shows with him. He never left the green room to watch me once, but his boys were there. And I remember after the first set, when I came back in, his boy came in and was like, "Yo, Russ, he's actually he's legit. He's the real deal." And Russ was like, "Okay, cool." And then we had that weekend. He was like, "You ever need anything? You let me know." But we never really talked for another 7 months. Nothing really happened. And then I saw he was going to be at the Laugh Factory again one night, 7 months later. And this is me living in LA now. Kind of the Renee thing has worn off. He's busy doing his own thing. I'm in the grind. Nobody's really giving me any stage time. I don't have a place to live. I'm renting rooms off Craigslist and Airbnb.
What are you doing to make money?
I a bunch of money my life savings that I saved in Canada is burning through.
I was gonna say in LA that ain't cheap.
Well, then he has on a visa, so you can only do
And
comedy.
I can't have any other job than do comedy. And I lost 40% of my money on the exchange coming out here. So I've already burned through my life savings in that year, and things are starting to change. But now again, I have albums on the internet. I make some passive income through comedy and stuff, But so I'm scraping by now.
What's a dinner looking like right now? In this time period you're talking about, what are you eating for dinner?
Right now, I've actually gotten pretty good at
No, back then.
when
Back
you
then.
were-
When
when
you
you were
were burning
struggling
through the
the
money,
first year, yeah.
what does dinner look like?
oh man, I don't know. I'm also an idiot with money, so it's like whatever the fuck I wanted. So I would eat shit. I would fucking. That's why I have no money. If I had saved it, done it better, I could have probably, found the right $200 room and stayed in it for 8 months. But I was going on Airbnb and trying to find something,
Nice.
but there's nothing nice. I ended up renting rooms, and it was still so expensive. You know what I mean? In American dollar.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm burning through all this, and then that night I see Russ is there, and I go hang out, and he invites me to come hang out with them after. They're going to a cigar lounge to smoke cigars. So I pull up, and they're all drinking. Russell's pretty fucking drunk at this moment, and he starts asking me about how everything's going. He takes a moment, he's like, "Yo, how is the transition been since I left you 7 months ago? And I'm explaining to how shit everything is. Me and my ex just broke up. Life just, it's the worst it's been in a long fucking time, you know? And then out of nowhere, he goes, save some money and come live with me for a month. You can stay in my guest room.
No.
And I was like, really? And then, yeah, that happened. And he was only doing it as a favor to unbeknownst to me, there's a comic in Toronto that made a phone call to Russell and told him, look out for me. It happened just around the same time that this is all happening. And then he offered me to come stay at his place only on the word of his boy. He took me on the road once, but he's never seen me do comedy. He took me on the road.
Would you want to say who that comic is?
Yeah, Kenny Robinson and John Paul. There's two of them.
Okay.
You know, those are the two Canadian guys that did
Shout
it.
out to those fools.
That's crazy, dude.
And then I ended up living with him for a month, and like we didn't really know each other, and I thought it would be like, you know, this is Russell Peters, we're gonna be boys, but he's so much older than me. It kind of turned into like a father-son relationship. He started looking out for me, and then
We probably saw himself in you. Like,
well, but he's never seen me perform, right? And
well,
then,
as like an Indian kid from Toronto wanted to do
And
stand up, and
he hears I'm funny, and you know he sees I'm grinding away trying to get. He saw me get in development at the Comedy Store and all that stuff, and then I had to move out a month after. You know, that's what he gave me the timeline. But after the relationship kind of developed, and I wasn't able to find a place yet, he kind of like he wanted me to stay, but you know, so I ended up staying there for 3 months. Okay, and on the second month, at the end of the second month, he left for the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
So I was in his mansion alone for a month. All right. But like 2 days before he left, he had a set at the Comedy Store, and he told me to roll with him. So I just showed up, and it was in the main room, packed show. We're in the back. He goes on stage, kills it. We come to the back. I'm about to walk out with him, and he goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I don't know. Where are you going?" And he goes, "You're on in 2 comics. You're doing 15 minutes." And I'm like, "What, really?" And then he kind of leaves, and I'm like panicking. You know, I got to do my 15 out of nowhere. And then I go on stage. I don't know where Russ is. I'm like, I fucking, you know, whatever. I go on stage, and I had a fucking fantastic set that night.
fuck yeah.
I come off stage, I come out of the curtains, and I see him walking back towards this way. And I'm like, "Yo, where'd you go, bro? You missed my set." He goes, "No, I actually sat down and I watched your whole set." He goes, "You're actually funny." He goes, "That's the first time I ever saw you do comedy." And I was like, "I've been living with you for 2 months. What do you mean?" That's the first time. He's been getting me on so many shows throughout the time. You know what I mean? He's putting in vouchers and getting me on stuff, but he's never actually watched me, you know, the whole time, vouching for me, just on the word of his boy. And I remember we were driving back to this place, and he was repeating my jokes to me, you know, which was fucking cool. He's like, "You know, when you said that pissed me off because it was so good," stuff like that. And then that night we were smoking cigars on his in his little area in his backyard, and he offered me to come open up for him in India. And then 2 days later he left for
Riyadh.
and I was like, it's just so crazy how it all fucking worked out, man. You know, I just fucking
So, unless I'm misunderstanding this, so up until he goes, "Hey, you've got a spot in 2 comics, have fun," right? Up until that, are you working at the Comedy Store at all, like in any capacity?
So probably like 5 months into comedy in LA, I woke up one morning and someone told me that the booker at the Comedy Store got fired, and there was a new booker at the Comedy Store. And I remember that day. It was a Monday, and it was her first week doing potluck.
And that's homegirl that's there now.
Yeah, Rose.
Yeah.
And there was a comic that I had met who told me he is Canadian. He's been in here for like 20 years, but he's born in Montreal. And we kind of had a little talk. We made a little connection, and I saw that he was hosting that night. So I messaged him, and I hit him up, and I was like, "Yo, can you get me on?" He saw my message, didn't respond to my message. 6 hours later, closer to the show, he said, "Yeah, show up. I got you a spot." And then I did the spot. My first time ever doing potluck. I came off. I got in development.
So define that for people who don't know what that means. Being in development.
It's just like they see something in you. They start giving you more spots regularly. They want to develop you into eventually maybe being a paid regular.
Now, is that spots on stuff like potluck or
It's so there's on every single show that happens at the Comedy Store, no matter who books it, there's always 2 to 3 development spots.
okay? So when I was out in LA, this last time, right? I went and saw Sam Tripoli's Comedy Chaos show with like Tim Dillon and Nicky Glazer and all them. So before Sam got on stage to host the show, there was a
Two or three comics.
There's one comic on there
Okay.
beforehand. Was that the development
Yes,
spot?
a 5-minute cold open
Yeah.
is always a development spot.
Interesting,
Or
okay.
a door guy spot, and then they'll sprinkle in the main room. They'll sprinkle the 5 minutes spots in the top, middle, and end.
Okay.
But every other show, the development spots are 3 spots off the top, and
Okay.
then the host.
Okay, so then that's when they're like, they see something in you, and they're like, okay, we think this guy could really be something.
Or whatever. I don't know what the
Yeah.
what the thing is, but yeah, if they see someone who's, I mean, like I've been doing comedy a long time, so the potluck is 3 minutes,
Right.
And as I was watching the potlucks, I see these young comics going up and telling 1,000 jokes in 3 minutes, trying to fucking.
Yeah, it's all one story.
They don't know how to do comedy,
Right.
No disrespect, but they're learning,
Right.
And I'm like 3 minutes, so I'm like, okay, I'll give you one bit. So I would go up and do one bit, and I did one bit. That 3 minutes got a great response, came off, and they should put me in development.
Okay.
So it's like.
And that's
It's
across
not-
all 3 rooms at the store, right?
Yeah,
That's main room, OR, billiard room.
You only do the OR if you're a paid regular or if it's the mic.
Interesting. Okay. Even so, that's held over a different esteem than the main room.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The
I didn't
OR
know
is
that.
the OR, only paid regulars.
I did not know that. Okay. Interesting. So then, Russell leaves for Riyadh, comes back.
He
and
comes back. I literally move out 2 days later,
Okay.
and then because I found my spot, and
Now you're here.
that was November 1st. So
Okay. So what are you? So
like
you're
3 months.
considered to be in development at the store right now?
yeah,
Okay, interesting. And are you able to do more spots? So you were talking a little bit earlier how your schedule's light because of how much competition there is in Los
there's
Angeles.
just less stage time in Los Angeles unless you're famous.
Right. So where do you find yourself doing stand up outside of the store?
I'm blessed. I got in with Don't Tell Comedy. I
So
special
when
with
did the special come about for Don't Tell?
that probably happened like 2 or 3 months into me moving.
Okay.
Because they happened to film one in Canada, and I got chosen to be one of the comics to film it in Canada.
So that was unrelated to the store. That
Unrelated,
was,
yeah.
Okay, good for
And then,
you.
So that put me in with once that you have a special, it's kind of like a taping with them.
Yeah.
They kind of give me access to all the bookers, so I reach out to a lot of people. So that's what kind of keeps my weekends busy is Don't Tell. So I get
Nice.
good shows most weekends.
Good for you.
And then just try to get in at the store and Laugh Factory and like other decent mics throughout the week. And then every once in a while, Russ takes me on the road.
Nice. And then now you've got India coming up.
Yeah.
And you just got booked from Netflix. Netflix is a joke.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere because
How did that come about?
it just happened like a week and a half ago. I never auditioned. I never applied. They just randomly reached out, man.
Like
And
via Instagram or email?
Yeah, and it was just they reached out. One of the bookers reached out to me and asked for if I had management and or if they should deal with me directly, and then I just pointed them in the direction of my manager, and then he told me they want to give me a few shows, and it was just cool because like you come out here and you're like, sometimes you're like no one is seeing the grind, and then all the Canadian festivals I've never gotten into in my 15 years of trying to be there just because they weren't interested. And to be here for a year and a half and I get into one of the biggest American festivals you can get into,
Skankfest is huge.
I'll just take
That's
it.
the biggest one.
Yeah.
You
I'll
got
just
the
take
biggest one, fool.
Yeah, I'll take it. And it's like fuck you.
Yeah,
To
for
all
sure,
those
no.
people that didn't want to fucking,
Okay, it is 2:48. We
Oh,
got
shit.
shit to do. We've been
Yeah.
talking for a fucking minute. It's
a
been
while.
fucking awesome though. Congrats on everything,
Thanks,
man.
dog.
Thank you for
Yeah, hell yeah.
being
Thanks for
down
having me.
here. Thank you for doing
Fuck
the
yeah.
podcast.
We went long, and again, Israel.
Yeah, we were
That's
on
fine.
we were on Blue Chews.
No, dude, congratulations on the
thank you, bro.
success. This
Thank you,
is
man.
it's a great career, dude.
Inspiring.
Like seriously, someone who stuck with it and got in a positive way. Obviously, they got their comeuppance. Like this is.
I mean, it's that we were talking about the other day. I have to take a step back and realize that it's happening, but like I'm still broke as shit. I ain't making no money yet. You know what I mean? We're in that limbo where things are happening, but there's no money
You're
yet.
right
but
there.
I could feel
I
it.
told him, bro. Yeah, he's right fucking there.
You're
We
right
can see
there,
it from being on the outside in.
Yeah.
and that's why I love to like. It sounds like shit, but I mean, I'm an opportunist, and I like to like surround myself with other people that are doing that have like the same common goal as me and stuff like that. So like the first time we met you, just like the first time I met Polar Bear, or the first time we've met a few other comics like Ali, or like you can tell when someone really fucking wants something, and you're doing it, bro. It's awesome.
Thank you, bro.
It's
Appreciate
cool
that, man. I fuck with you guys too. You guys are great.
Thank you, man. Well, thank you for coming and doing this. I really
bro.
appreciate it. It'll be in the description, but where can everybody find you on social media? How can people support you?
Instagram at NittySack, NITTYSAK. Watch my YouTube videos. Come out to shows. Follow me and come out to shows, man. Help me sell tickets.
And if you want to send him money, send it to my Cash App.
Just kidding. You're the real deal. You're doing it, dude. It's
Thank you,
fucking
bro.
awesome to see.
Appreciate it, man.
Glad we met out in Austin.
All right,
Shit,
now let's
dude.
all put our dicks in a Magnum.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Support Improvised Intelligence. Support Last Laugh, the podcast. And we'll see you next time.
See you
And
next
most of
time,
all,
Albuquerque.
support Israel.
Bye.